Hazen and Junction City coming up at the top of the hour as we welcome you back to the pregame show here on AETN Sports. Hey, high school football coaches are teachers in their own right. They teach much more than X's and O's. They impart wisdom. For longtime coach Mike Malham of the Cabot Panthers, it's a philosophy not only for winning football, but for winning at life.
I've never had a playbook. I didn't ever want anything put on paper. So I don't have a playbook. It's just rep out there. That's how they learn it anyway, is reps. Keep it simple. Don't be too complex. And if you do it enough times, you might learn how to do it right. Between our offense, defense, and special team players, I had 28 this year that were playing on the field that had a 3-point or better, a cumulative grade point. You know, hard work is the key to success in anything you do. And this is America. You can be anything you want to be. You know, if you want to be a doctor, you want to work hard, go to school, you can do that. You know, you got no excuse in America not to be successful.
I've always been a hard worker, but he's made me 10 times a hard worker than I am. And I remember a couple times I ran a play wrong, and he just told me to get right back on the ball and run it again until I got it right. And he just made sure it was perfect. That's what he likes, is perfection.
Off the field, he lets me know it's more than just football in life. You got to work hard for what you want. I take that to my work, I take it to class, and I bring it to the field.
When they leave our program, the whole thing, I hope they learned how to set goals and work hard to achieve those goals. And when you get knocked down, you know, in football, you're going to get knocked down, get back up, and just go even harder. So that I'm proud of what the kids do in the classroom, because the teachers know that if they have a problem with the kid, all they got to do is call us, and we will take care of it. They're going to act right. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. They're going to act right in the classroom. Gentlemen off the field, they can be wild men on the field, but off the field, we want to be gentlemen.
That was Mike Malham from Cabot High School, who just completed his 38th season as head football coach. 28 of his players, by the way, made the all-conference team by earning a 3.0 GPA or better. We'll continue with our pregame show from War Memorial Stadium in a moment. You're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
For every moment, for every memory, from that first car to your first home to your first child, and all the highs and lows that tomorrow might bring. For everything that matters most to you and your family, there's someone right around the corner dedicated to helping you protect what you love. Your local Farm Bureau Insurance agent. Farm Bureau Insurance. Real service, real people.
Choose local because local companies stay rooted in their communities. They support other local businesses and provide jobs for your friends and neighbors. At Fidelity Communications, we take great pride in being a local company that's dedicated to the communities we serve. Jobs and opportunities for the people you love. That's why you choose local. Fidelity Communications. We're here, we're local. Be connected with Fidelity, your local internet, TV, and home phone provider.
Well, we're joined by Stephen Jones with Junction City. And, Coach, congratulations on making it back to War Memorial Stadium.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
When you look at the Dragons, you guys have had a phenomenal year. 11-2 on the season. You guys beat Foreman last week 40-20. Give me some details on how that win went for you guys last week.
Yeah, you know, playing the defending state champion last week, we knew it would be a big matchup for us. And they have Kyron Beatty at quarterback, who was MVP here last year of the game. And we knew going in we had to stop him. And we were able to contain him and not let him break out on any long runs. He still had 200 yards on the ground on us, but we were able to keep him out of the end zone. And, you know, just to go in and stop him was the game plan, and that worked out for us. And offensively, we were really able to do what we wanted to, and we're back. So,
you know, you look at your team and the tradition of Junction City in football. It goes back to Coach Carpenter's days, and now you've taken over. But 6 state championships overall for the Dragons. And I know as a community, as you as a football coach, you stress at the beginning of the year, we want to make it to War Memorial Stadium. When you're a game away from that, what is that pregame speech like when you're talking to your guys?
Yeah, you know, and our community's proud that we're here, but but not really. They want us to win it all, and that's expected with the success that Coach Carpenter had. They just want us to finish the deal. We made it here last year and weren't able to bring it home, so expectations are high year in and year out. But pregame speech, man, I'm not going to have to say a word. I mean, our kids are focused. They're ready to go. We win the semifinal game last week, and there really wasn't a celebration. It was kind of that's the next step that we needed to take, and let's get focused up and be ready to go this week. So, man, I'm not going to have to say a word to them.
In years past, when you look at a Junction City team, you think, man, they've got a really solid offense. They move the ball, they score a lot of points, and the defense is always good, but it's usually the offense that kind of overshadows the defense. But I think this year's a little bit different. You guys still have a good offense, but you've got a really good defense this year as well.
Absolutely, and it starts with our D-line and Samaje Livingston just anchoring that up front and stopping the run. And Coach Brad Smith has been doing it a long time, and he puts together a great game plan week in and week out, has our kids ready to play, and defense down the stretch has really carried us. And, some teams have been able to move the ball, in between the 20s on us, but once a team gets in the red zone, we've tightened down and made plays and kept them from scoring, and defense is just, week in, week out, getting a little bit better.
You guys take on the Hazen Hornets this week, who's undefeated on the year. Just talk a little bit about that matchup and the challenge you're going to face against Hazen.
Yeah, I feel like we're mirror images. I mean, good team speed, lots of size up front, good strength, and everything. It'll be a great battle in the trenches. I mean, O-line, D-line, you kind of look at their size against ours and how we match up. I think that'll be where the game's won. But they've had a great season. They're very physical. Coach Bosanquin has those guys playing hard every week. They like to run the football between the tackles, and we do a good job of stopping that. So it's going to be a fun battle for us Friday night.
Well, Coach, congratulations on making it back to War Memorial Stadium, and good luck today.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on.
We've got more of the high school championships coming up next right here on ATN Sports.
Being a Globetrotter, you get to bring a whole family together. PBS gives your kids and your family a little foundation. With Arthur, you're able to relate to some of the messages as far as going to school, interacting with other kids, how to handle a bully. PBS is going to help your kids grow. I'd rather my kids get that experience from something that I trust, that I grew up on, like PBS.
The Everett difference is much more than just vehicle sales and service. It's also our commitment to helping those who help others, like those who work to build communities, those who help to enrich the lives of children, those who provide a loving home to kids in need, and those who lend a helping hand when you need it. It's a privilege to work with these wonderful organizations, and we're grateful for everything they do. That's the Everett difference. Everett Buick GMC.
Back here on ATN Sports with head coach Joe Bosanquin with the Hazen Hornets. And, Coach, congratulations on getting here. It's been a lot of fun this year for you guys. It's always fun when you go undefeated, but I know there's always that one goal, and that's the state championship.
It is. These young men we got this year, they set a goal. And, first was to win a conference championship, get into playoffs, and have the opportunity to win a state championship. I'm real proud of them.
When you look at your team, this is a team that you predominantly run the football on. You got Ajon Green, Terrell Penn, and then Blaine Toll. That those are your leaders on this offense.
They are our leaders. Ajon and Terrell both are two running backs, and they're both right at 1,500 yards rushing. And then Toll has a little over 700 yards rushing. So, they do a really good job. But that credit goes to their offensive line. It opens up the holes for them.
Talk about that offensive line. We always hear about the playmakers, but I don't think the offensive line gets enough credit. You guys have a big offensive line that can move bodies.
Yeah, they do. We're not the biggest in the world, but we're really strong. They spend a lot of time in the weight room, and they're good with their techniques, and they come off the ball hard. So, those running backs get their name in the paper. The linemen never do. But if it wasn't for those linemen, them running backs wouldn't be there.
Now, a year ago, you guys won 9 games. This year, you're undefeated. What's the difference in last year's team to this year's team?
They're just a year older. Yeah. Last year we were relying a lot on sophomores that are juniors this year, and they had another year in the weight room, and that all makes a difference.
You look at the difference in a year. I mean, you guys have posted 4 shutouts this year. So not only are you guys good offensively, but defensively you're really good.
Our defense has done an unbelievable job. That goes to my credit goes to, the kids buying into what we're doing. And it goes to my assistant coaches, getting those guys ready. Coach Vincent is our defensive coordinator, and he's done a real good job of scheming and the other guys getting on board. But our coaches have done a really good job.
Coach, when you look at teams like Mount Ida and Foreman, teams that have been here in the past, and you're preparing your guys to face a Mount Ida like you did last week, what do you say to those guys? I know you got to beat the best to be the best, but I mean, you're going into a big game against a team that's made it here. What did you talk to your team about going into that one?
I told them, you're going to have to. Most of all, you always got to respect your opponent, and they did that. And I told them with Mount Ida, I said, listen, guys, that group of seniors, they've won 39 football games. They know how to win, and so we preached that a lot this week. It's not going to be some of the same teams you played in the past where you maybe get up a couple scores and they're done playing. And Mount Ida's not going to be that way. They're well coached and they play extremely hard.
You guys face the Junction City Dragons this week, and this is a team that's traditionally a very, very stout football team. They've got 6 state championships. What's the game plan going into this one?
Like I always say, you got to control the line of scrimmage on both sides. We're going to have to do it. They're very big across the front on the offensive line, and our defensive line are going to have to hold the ground. They're going to have to hold the ground there and not get blown back off the ball. Then on the offensive side, we just got to do what we do, and that's line up and play smash mouth football.
No state championships in Hazen's history. It kind of surprised me a little bit just because Hazen's traditionally a pretty good football team, and I saw that. It's going to mean a lot if you guys can pull out a state championship.
Oh, it would be awesome. I tell you what, I don't know what had happened to the town. They allowed them to destroy the whole town. I don't know, but it'll be a big party and a good time.
I would imagine today here at the stadium, the last person out of Hazen turn out the lights, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a full house, There won't be anybody left in Hazen.
Ought to be a lot of fun. Well, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. That is head coach Joe Besanken. As we are wrapping things up on the pregame show, when we come back, we will have more of today's championship game right here on ATN Sports.
It became a tradition, I guess, touchdown angel. His name is perfect for that, so.
Just every game.
We are the curious.
The adventurous.
Those venturing out for the first time.
And those who've never lost our sense of wonder.
You seen this?
We are the hungry.
The strong.
The joyful.
A happy little cloud.
We believe there is always more we can uncover.
More we can explore.
We believe in the capacity for goodness.
And the potential for greatness.
The torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans.
PBS.
PBS.
Anytime we want, anywhere we are.
Winning and losing is important, but the true measure of sportsmanship is the bonds it creates. You're about to see how a young man running for a touchdown, a tradition at Sonora Middle School, has become a reminder for what it really means to be a winner.
It became a tradition, I guess, touchdown angel. His name is perfect for that, so.
Just every game we do it, and it's just perfect. Yeah, it was fun.
His confidence just skyrocketed. He went from a kid that was scared of middle school and scared of this transition to he's running the school. He knows everybody, he loves everybody, and he's just the happiest, most confident kid that I've ever had.
We just decided, hey, let's give him a touchdown. We started giving it to him at the end of the games, and they have just adapted. And he just became part of the team and the family. And, really, he's taught us, without saying a word, life lessons that those kids will never get.
It's just like contagious. Every time you see that smile of his, everybody in the room smiles.
Well, he's just been a great friend the whole year and just always there with me, and just making me laugh a lot.
Angel is a very active kid. He is a very loving kid with his siblings. It was so spontaneous. He started watching football on the television, and it's something that just came to him. It's something that makes him feel at home. And I think, despite his condition, nothing is impossible. He may not play a lot, but he is a part of the team. If he is happy with it, we'll support him as far as he wants to go, no matter how far he goes.
That was a student film from the AETN series Student Selects, produced by Diego Escobar and Carter Hale with Springdale District TV. We'll continue with more of our pregame show from War Memorial Stadium in a moment. You're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
Antiques Roadshow's Season 18 tour was bigger and better with more cities, more treasures, and more happy Roadshow fans.
I've never seen anything quite as remarkable as this.
Oh my, I am astounded.
So tune into the first hour of Antiques Roadshow, Junk in the Trunk 4, right here on this PBS station.
Monday night at 7.
1. We are just minutes away from the Class 2A state championship game as we welcome you back to War Memorial. Hey, if you've ever wondered about the commitment, dedication, and hard work these kids put in to make it to the state finals, then check out this video produced by Harbor High School in Springdale, set to the inspiring words of motivational speaker Eddie Gordon and performed by Jeffrey James. Take a look.
What is pain to you? Do you understand it? Do you even know what pain is? Stop running from it. Embrace the pain you're going to feel when you try to do something great. Let's change what follows our I am. I am successful. I am powerful. I am great. I am amazing. What follows your I am is going to shape your day, your year, and your life. With greatness comes pain. Pain can't be your enemy. It has to be your friend. You have to learn to dig deep. When you feel pain in your heart, when you feel pain in your legs, when you feel pain in your arms, you've got to learn to push through and dig a little deeper. Just know, the other person on the other side that wants to conquer you is going through the same thing. Who's going to win? Who's going to impress their will on the next man, the next woman, the next person that's going to struggle through pain? But on the other side of pain, greatness. Are you all in? Are you ready to sacrifice? No more excuses. Get it done. How bad do you want to be great?
That should definitely get you pumped up to play some football. By the way, that was a student video produced by Nick Luttrell at Harbor High School as we welcome you back live to War Memorial Stadium, where we are just a few minutes away from the kickoff of the 2A state championship game between 13-0 Hazen and 11-2 Junction City. The team captains are starting to walk out onto the field. We are just moments away from the coin toss. My name is Scott Inman, RJ Hawk with me in the booth, and Eric Sullivan down on the sidelines getting ready for round 2, weekend number 2. We are glad to have you with us for more state championship football. I tell you, RJ, when we were at the press conference earlier this week and the 6 head coaches who will be carrying their teams into battle this weekend were all there, and they were lined up. It almost looked like they were all members of one coaching staff. 4 of the 6 teams playing, their school color is purple.
Yeah, no, I mean, you look at it, and you're exactly right. I think you and I were kind of walking around saying, who do we talk to during the game or during the press conference? And I tell you, just what great coaches, though. You think of the traditions down in Junction City, and really, both these coaching staffs are class acts. We were all kind of talking it up before the press conference, and a lot of tradition down in Junction City, but Hazen's trying to make their own traditions right now. Looking for that first state championship win, and if you look at the size of these squads, very undermanned, I guess you can, for Hazen, because Hazen has got about half the players that Junction City's got.
Let's see if we can go down and pick up the ref mic for the coin toss.
Hazen has won the toss and will receive.
There you go.
That's our referee tonight.
Hazen will be on offense first, looking much like the Michigan Wolverines as far as the helmet goes anyway. Not the same colors, but a very spiffy helmet. And they will be, of course, as you can tell now, in the white uniforms in Junction City. In the purple uniforms. Hazen coached by Joe Basenkin with a career record of 105 wins, 38 losses, and 1 tie. Stephen Jones comes into the game coaching Junction City to a 24-3 record over his career. They're 11-2 this year. These two teams have great defenses. In fact, that's arguably what got Hazen here. They held Mount Ida to 53 total yards last week in a 42-0 win. They're allowing RJ just 7.5 points per game.
Yeah, when you look at this Hazen team, really it's all done with their quarterback, Blaine Toll, and then he mixes in his running backs, Ajon Green and Terrell Penn. Both these two running backs, Scott, have rushed for almost 3,000 yards behind center. And then you look at Blaine Toll for Hazen. This is a quarterback that he's being looked at by a lot of major colleges across the country. Louisville, Arkansas State, Alabama, Memphis, just to name a few. He's an ESPN top 300 guy as an athlete, as a defensive player, really. And it's not because of his quarterback play, but if you think about it, Blaine Toll is only a junior. This is a kid that still has another year of high school to play, and he's already getting all these looks from across the country. And a lot of people say, well, how can a quarterback that doesn't really play much defense be an ESPN 300 guy? How can he have all these accolades? Well, if you think about the summer camps, the team camps, the 7-on-7s, where all these college coaches get to come and watch him play, that's where he's getting the looks. It's not like Nick Saban's heading down to Hazen to go look at these guys, even though, if you're a good enough player, you will. But so you look at this Hazen team, and they're very fast. They're very good offensively. And then Junction City, boy, all they do is put up points, and they showed that last week when they played Foreman.
Well, here come the Hazen Hornets, and as they run onto the field, let's check in with our third member of our broadcast team, Eric Sullivan. Eric.
All right, Scott and RJ, it is 36 degrees on the field, but it feels like 27 when you add the wind chill in there. Still missing quite a bit, but nothing too crazy these kids can't play, and I would say that. Now, we are hoping that it doesn't become a downpour. It could at some point during this ball game. And, guys, I want to give a really special tip of the hat to Hazen. You see the hashtag DJ9 all over their helmets, all over the stadium, on their sidelines. That's for their fallen teammate, Drake Jones. They are playing this game with him. Players telling us earlier this week he truly is their 12th man. So they got a lot of inspiration to take on a very athletic Junction City team.
And Scott, you see right there, they're holding the jersey up with a team prayer. And that young man was killed he was down over on an ice pond earlier this year and fell through and passed away. And this team has played with heart all year. They've played every game thinking about him and really have kind of set that goal this year as to play for him. This has been a season for him, and I think that's kind of what's willed this Hazen team to where they are today.
It's a 30-man roster. You talk to the coaches before as we get prepared for the broadcast, and you try to get what's called a two-deep roster, the guys who start and the guys who will be right behind them. And Coach Basenkin telling us, hey, I don't really have a two-deep. I got a one-deep because a lot of these kids are going to go both ways, 8 of 11 of them. And there's the kickoff. It's a short pooch kick. It's going to be fielded by up-back Quincy McAdoo, and McAdoo will take it out to midfield as we get started here in the 2A state championship game. Hazen on offense first. It'll be 6'5", 235 junior Blaine Toll bringing him out.
I don't think Junction City was quite ready for them to return that kick. Usually on those pooch kicks like that, you're going to fair catch it and just take it where it is. And I don't think they were quite ready for them to advance the football.
So we mentioned Toll. He's only got 458 yards passing on the year, but he's run for 702. You're going to see a lot of shotgun, pistol formations out of the Hornets. Ajon Green is the lone back there with Toll out of that gun. Boy, fumbled the snap, has to pick it up, and almost got back to the line of scrimmage. He's probably going to lose one, maybe two on the play. Junction City all over it there. Cody Atkins, one of the first guys there to meet him.
Scott, you got to think about this. There's a lot of nerves coming into a state championship game. For Hazen, looking for that first ever state championship win. And they've been in a championship game before, just did not win. In fact, the last time they were here was 2014 when they played Junction City, and Junction City won that game 38-6.
Hazen scored on their first 4 possessions last week in their win in the semifinals against Mount Ida. A play fake and then a hand to Ajon Green straight ahead, and he is turned back. The strength of this team after a 1-yard pickup is the strength of Junction City's team, that is that defensive line. That's what the coach tells us, and they are good and sound up front. Very good run defense.
And here's the thing about Hazen is they live and die by that running game. Now, Coach Basenkin was telling us earlier in the week, he said, if I throw 5 passes in the game, he said, things aren't going good for us. And so they're going to continue with that run game throughout this one.
This time, Toll's going to keep it himself. He's got a lot of yardage to get the first down, and he dives about a yard shy. So decision time very early. Jakyron Cook there to stop the 6'5 junior quarterback for Hazen.
I mean, 6'5", 235, that's what Toll comes in at. And really, he's a load to bring down. You don't see many quarterbacks at the high school level, 6'5", 235. But when he goes over left side, if you saw right there, Junction City went low to take him down, take him out the knees so that he can't just run you over.
I said decision time early, and Coach Basenkin's going to go for it, at least line up to do it. Penn and Green in the backfield. And the handoff goes to Penn, and Penn has got the first down. Boy, a gamble early in the game on the first series, a 3-yard pickup to move the sticks.
Well, that time just inside trap play. They go left side with it. And really, that's kind of their bread and butter on short yardage situations. They're going to find a way to pick up those 1, 2, 3 yards when they need it. And it's just going to be a quick, fullback dive and to get those yards.
Gerodney Tubbs made the stop from his defensive end position for the Dragons. It'll be a first down and 10 in plus territory. So Hazen goes for it on 4th and 1 on their opening possession and gets it. And now the give is to Ajon Green, and Green has room inside the 35 and gets close to the 30-yard line before he's brought down. It is a pickup of 8. The stop made by Javonce Cook.
Well, I tell you, when you look at him hit that hole, boy, he has got a head full of speed. And there's a reason why he's run for almost 1,500 yards this year, because he knows the hole he's going to go to. He hits it hard and just burst into it.
Second down and short, just almost 3 minutes into this first quarter. The handoff to Penn again, and this time he gets close to the sticks, but it'll be a short gain. We'll wait and see where they mark it. It looks like it's only going to be about a yard. So it'll bring up a 3rd and 1, and Javonce Cook again with the stop for Junction City.
This was kind of the worry for both these teams, was how are these defenses going to hold up against these high-powered offenses? And really, Junction City's done a good job up until, right on this last 3 plays.
Full house backfield here, and it's Weems taking the snap. Ajon Green gets the handoff, and he's got the first down. Moving the stack forward, and will move the sticks again for Hazen.
Big offensive line for Hazen. Boy, they got a good push that time. And really, if you watch right here, look at those big uglies, just pushing. That's when you're on that sled during practice, and you got your coach is sitting on top of the sled saying, "Come on, let's work harder for a state championship." They were putting in that hard work right there.
Coach says they spent a lot of time in the weight room, have good technique, and get a good push off the ball. Handoff to Penn, and that time he will be stopped for little to no gain. Nothing doing for Penn. Kyle Kidwell from the nose guard spot, a 5'11", 235 junior there for Junction City.
Boy, Scott, that rain is starting to come down. We were expecting heavier rain here in Little Rock around 7 o'clock, and it was a light mist that was kind of coming down. Now it's really starting to come down.
Yeah, RJ, Scott, heaviest we've felt it so far, and it really has picked up the last few minutes.
Handoff to Green again. Green busts into the secondary and has a first down at the 15. We'll call it the 14-yard line of Junction City. Cavante Haynes with the stop.
That time, good push on that left side of the offensive line, and he's so good at finding that inside. You're not going to see them go on the outside of the tackles very often. They're going to try to run it between center and guard, and oftentimes between tackle and guard, but that time just hit the hole hard and was able to get the first down.
Ajon Green, a 5'11", 220-pound junior. Opening drive of the football game. Time-consuming, as you might expect from a run-dominated team. The fake goes inside. Now the handoff to Penn. And Penn tests the right side. Junction City sound there. They did not bite on the fake. It's a gain of 3. It'll bring up a 2nd and 7 as we are under 7 minutes in the opening quarter.
We'll try to go with a little misdirection that time, Scott. They went heavy on that left side of the offensive line, but then ran the ball back right side. So really you have your defense that's stacked up on that left side to try to draw that play that side.
Junction City's made some stops, but Hazen has bust some long ones. And a handoff to Green again on the left side. They've had some success there. That time the hole closes quickly, though. He got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. Up from the safety spot, Jakyron Cook, who leads this team in tackles coming in, makes the stop there. It's 3rd down.
RJ, I'm with you. That drive did not start out pretty for Hazen, and they have really put it together. And a methodical drive here, and are really on their game, on point so far, guys.
Yeah, they were behind the sticks on 3rd and about 13. They'll go outside with Penn. Penn nearly tripped up in the backfield. Now Penn gets inside the 5-yard line and knocked out of bounds by Jakyron Cook at about the 2.
Well, that's a great athlete right there, Scott. I mean, he could have easily been taken down the backfield, and he just kept fighting, kept churning, and using that left arm to try to defend himself off. Watch right here. Caught in the backfield, could have been taken down right there. No, almost lost my balance. Still on his feet and is able to take it all the way down to the 2-yard line. Great balance, great athlete, and this is why he's one of the better running backs for this football team.
Penn had 4 touchdowns in the semifinal game against Mount Ida. They've stacked it up for a short yardage play, and Ajon Green gets close to the goal line. Again, the snap went to Jacob Weems on that one, so Weems has come in and taken the snap instead of Toll a couple of times. He's a listed starter at wide receiver.
And Scott, I was told by some coaches, look for Toll to even play defensive tackle today.
Well, he's certainly got the size.
Quarterback, defensive tackle, I love it.
You got to do what you got to do when you're in 2A, don't you?
That's right, baby.
2nd down and goal. It'll be Weems again taking the snap, and Jacob Weems leans over his offensive lineman. No signal yet.
Well,
and he is not going to make it.
Well, and if you noticed right there, Hazen, they were kind of throwing their hands up, hoping for a flag, and I think there may have been a little bit of movement. I think Toll kind of leaned with his center a little bit, but it wasn't called, and so either way, they didn't score. It's 3rd down.
Good eye there, RJ. He did move early.
You don't get much closer than that. The nose of the football, just shy of the goal line. 15th play of the drive. It's Weems again taking the snap. This time the handoff goes to Penn, and Penn is in. Penn is in. Hazen strikes first in the 2A championship game.
Scott, that right there, that's like, let's get every big body that we have, and they got to push hard. And
that was close, guys. That was close.
They're showing the ball popped out, but the officials said it was a touchdown. I think that was a fumble there for a minute, Scott. Look at this. Right here, goes right side. He lost the football and fumbled it into the end zone, and
Junction City recovered it.
Yeah, but the officials called it a touchdown.
So the Hornets will go for 2. And it'll be Jacob Weems again taking the snap, and the handoff goes to Green. And Green successfully converts the 2-point conversion. Just your average 15-play drive to open the 2A championship game. They burn a lot of clock time. 4:40 left in the first quarter. It's Hazen 8 and Junction City nothing. We're back after this. You're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
Antiques Roadshow's Season 18 tour was bigger and better with more cities, more treasures, and more happy Roadshow fans.
I've never seen anything quite as remarkable as this.
Oh my, I am astounded.
So tune into the first hour of Antiques Roadshow, Junk in the Trunk 4, right here on this PBS station.
Monday night at 7.
Back at War Memorial Stadium, the Hornets have struck first, opening with a 15-play touchdown drive. And they go for 2 and make it to lead 8-0 here very early on. Jacob Weems, who did a lot on that opening drive, is now going to kick it away for the Hazen Hornets. Jakyron Cook and Cavante Haynes are back deep for Junction City. Short kick angling towards the sidelines. It's going to be fielded by Cook. Cook didn't have anywhere to go. And Junction City will start inside their own 30-yard line.
But, Scott, if you let the ball go out of bounds,
yep,
you don't catch the football. You let it go out of bounds, you get extra yardage on the deal. And what's the 10-yard penalty to push the ball further upfield, and you don't have to worry about it. I tell you, but that once again, that goes back to having a little bit of nerves in the state championship game. You don't think is clear sometimes, and things happen. Let's see how Junction City does on their first drive.
Brady Hutchison is your quarterback, and he will turn and give it to Dante Gibson, and the team captain carries over the right side. Maybe got close to the 25-yard line. They'll give him the 26, in fact, so it's a gain of about 3 on the play. Stop made by Cade Perry from the linebacking spot for Hazen.
Well, Gibson's the guy that has accounted for 1,580 yards and 22 touchdowns. He's a big back for him, and between him and Jakyron Cook, they're going to be a big threat for this Dragon team.
A big hit laid on Gibson there as he gets the carry up close to the 29-yard line. He paid for it, but he does get some positive yardage out of it. It'll bring up 3rd and 5.
Well, I delivered a big hit right here. Watch this. Goes right side. And really, that's a good job by Hazen, because if you're going to take down these running backs, you're going to have to go low and try to pull their legs out from underneath them.
End around play goes to Cook. And Cook is close to first down yardage. He is going to have it. The sticks will move, and Junction City gets their first down of the game after a gain of 7. Rasheed Mills makes the stop for Hazen.
Scott, both these teams won a lot of games this year, put up a lot of points. If you combine the winning percentages or the total points for both these teams, they beat their average opponent by 30 points combined.
Handoff Gibson again, big hole, and he lays the wood on a defender and gets outside the 40 out to the 42-yard line. Chance Taylor will get credit for the stop, 7 yards on the pickup.
Boy, you look at that hit at the very end of that. Boy, when you look at Junction City's Gibson, he's 6 foot tall, 182 pounds, and he delivered a blow right there.
Dante Gibson, it's been a lot of him. This time he's met in the backfield and will spin forward and get back to the line of scrimmage. Hazen said you're going to go to him one too many times. Ajon Green with the stop for the Hornets.
Scott, you feel like you're going to be calling those offensive players on defense quite a bit tonight because you only have 30 players, as you talked about earlier.
Little Iron Man football, about 8 of 11 will go both ways. Jakyron Cook is the ball carrier, and Cook gets behind the defense. He will score. Touchdown, Junction City.
Boy, what a hole. I mean, that entire left side of the offensive line opened wide open. And there was just a speed factor. He outran everybody. Watch this right here. Cuts it back. Look at that offensive line. Made a big hole, and he was just off to the races at that point. There was nobody going to catch him, and he walked into the end zone for a touchdown.
A 58-yard touchdown run by Jakyron Cook. And Junction City will line up to go for 2 and the tie. The hand goes to Gibson, and Gibson is turned away off the right side. Hazen's defensive line there for the stop. Blaine Toll, the quarterback. As Eric told you earlier, he was going to line up some at defensive tackle, and he makes a big play, keeping Hazen in front.
You know, one thing about these two teams, you're not going to see a lot of field goal kicking or extra points kicked. They're all about scoring trying to get that extra 2 points. Let's go back down to Eric on the sideline, and Eric, that rain is really starting to come down. I saw it on the cameras just a minute ago, and I know we don't throw the football a whole lot in this game, but boy, it looks like it's getting a little dicey out there.
It's actually, RJ, it's not really hammering us down here, but it's gotten to be heavier rain, if that makes sense to you. Bigger raindrops. And you guys know how much you guys tell me how much I love my hair. Yeah. It's not going to make it tonight, boys. It's not going to make it.
Well, Eric, I told you coming into the game tonight, you probably should wear a hat or a toboggan. And Eric said, no, I got the hair for TV. Got to keep it going.
Well, I do have the toboggan. The toboggan probably will be coming out. We have to make a special open for that toboggan coming on.
Got to listen to Dad, Eric. You got to listen to Dad.
But I want to come back for Junction City right there, guys. Oh. You just smell explosiveness about those guys. A lot of guys can take it to the house like that.
Jack Smith to kick off. Damare Buchanan with the return. Boy, breaks out of a would-be tackle and gets a nice return up over the 35-yard line to almost the 36. It's a return of 10 yards after a 35-yard kickoff. So you talked about how fast Junction City answered. We saw Hazen take the majority of the first quarter on that 15-play drive. Junction City uses 2 minutes and 11 seconds on a 6-play, 77-yard drive, capped off with that 58-yard touchdown run.
Scott, a lot of times teams that run the football quite a bit, you don't see quick drives like that. You don't see 2 minutes, 11 seconds. They're more of that 7-minute type drive.
Blaine Toll back under center, and he's going to roll to his left and try to keep it himself. No intention to pass here. The big 6'5" Hazen quarterback gets about 4 yards. He's going to be stopped by Jakyron Cook.
Man, you look at Toll, and he's only a junior. Right? This kid's got a lot of growing and experience to get, and he's going to be a fine player at the next level, that's for sure.
5 passing touchdowns, 8 rushing touchdowns on the season for Blaine Toll. 2nd down and 6. He'll go back to the gun. And the give is to Green. Green finding room on the edge again, but he is wrestled down there. Good pursuit by Jakyron Cook again. It's a pickup of 4. Cook is the strong safety for Junction City, but he leads this team in both tackles and interceptions.
I'll tell you what, my man Bobby Swafford, who will be on the broadcast tomorrow, he would love this offensive line play. Being a former offensive lineman at UCA, he would be talking all about this offensive line play because both these teams have great offensive lines.
3rd down and a long 2. And the handoff to Penn. Penn fighting across that 45-yard line, which is what he needed for the first down. And they will get it. 3 yards on the pickup for Terrell Penn. Hazen moves the sticks. The stop made by Javancier Cook.
We've talked about both these teams quite a bit, Scott, but how about the crowds that have shown up from both these small towns? You look over there on that Hazen side, they've got a ton of folks here. I think the last person out of town turned off the lights.
You wondered, too, on a night like tonight. Now, Hazen didn't have as far to go as Junction City, clearly. Toll's going to keep it himself. Keeps those feet moving and gets across the midfield stripe. It's a gain of about 5 on the play. Stop made by Tanner Barnett from the linebacking spot for Junction City. We have a chance, by the way, this weekend to break an attendance record here at War Memorial Stadium. Collective attendance for all of the championship games. Through the 3 games last weekend, we're at 42,594. It's 2nd down, and in the backfield, Ajon Green is going to be buried for a loss of 2 or 3. Maybe even 4 on the play. Tanner Barnett with good pursuit.
Yeah, Barnett was able to slice right through and really almost looked like he went untouched to get back there, and that's going to do it for the end of the first quarter.
Boy, blinking, you missed it. The end of 1 already in the books here at War Memorial Stadium. Hazen scored on their opening drive. Junction City answered. The difference in the game, a converted 2-point conversion. We'll be back with second quarter action next. You're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
Broadcast of this championship game is made possible by
Law Offices of Gary Green, a people's practice, representing people with serious injuries in areas of personal injury, nursing home negligence, and product liability. We are proud to be underwriters of AETN.
You'll find us at the end of a lot of long country roads, covering over 60% of the great state of Arkansas to provide reliable power to over 500,000 homes, farms, and businesses. The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, your local energy partners.
We stand for connecting every person, for a global community.
Facebook systematically went from interconnecting people to essentially having a surveillance system of their whole lives.
Facebook has come under fire for its role during the election.
Everybody was pretty upset that we hadn't caught it during the election, and it was a very intense time.
Zuckerberg will testify.
I still have questions. If we're going to make sure that in 2018 and 2020 this doesn't happen again.
Tuesday night at 9:30.
Big third down play. We're going to check in with Eric in just a minute, but first the third down and 10 play for Hazen. It's going to be Toll on the play action. He looks to throw. Now he's going to run. And Toll will only get back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be fourth down. Let's go down to Eric Sullivan. Eric?
All right, guys, we know Hazen wants Toll to run that ball as much as possible, but Coach B has already gotten his ear a couple times saying you've had open receivers. Will they pull the trigger, kind of break off their style, and maybe take a shot downfield to maybe reopen up their running game? We might find out in this quarter. And real quickly, guys, both teams with their managers and the refs doing a really good job of keeping the ball dry as the rain has really picked up, but we'll see if anybody will put one on the ground. We all know turnovers tend to happen when it gets cold and wet like this.
Eric, your hair still looks good, though.
Always.
Jacob Weems is the punter for Hazen, and it bounces off of I thought it bounced off of a Junction City player at about the 35-yard line. Yes, it did, so that's where it will be blown dead. A short punt. Jacob Weems is the all-everything guy. Took snaps at quarterback, kicks off for the Hornets, and he punts for the Hornets as well. It's a 25-yard kick.
Well, here's the thing, Scott. In a game like this, this is what Junction City needed to do. They needed to get a stop and allow for that momentum to kind of come back to their side, because even though it's 8-6, Hazen can get on another one of those long drives. They love those long 7-minute drives, and so now you don't allow for that to happen. The Dragons get the football back, and they can try to go down and get another score.
Out of the pistol, Brady Hutchison over the middle to a wide open receiver, DJ Hill. It was a little bit high. He had a chance to catch it, though.
Well, coming out with a few passing plays right here. If they connect on that, there was nothing stopping him from getting to the end zone. It was just him and green turf.
Good call on first down for Junction City, trying to take the lead for the first time in this game. Hazen scored on a 15-play drive to start the contest. Junction City answered with a 6-play, 77-yard drive. Handoff Gibson on the right side. A big hole for Gibson, and he's got the first down near midfield. Terrell Penn with the stop for Hazen. It's a 13-yard gain. Hazen going a little tempo now. Right back up on the ball. And that's going to be a flag, yeah. A little bit late on the snap there. Looks like everybody was moving except the center.
Before the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
First penalty of the game goes against the Hornets here early on in the second quarter. Hutchinson will keep it himself. Looking for room, trying to bounce it outside, but there's not much there. It'll be a gain of 1.5 yards, maybe 2. Jackson Shellman, defensive tackle for Hazen on the stop.
Boy, the interior defensive linemen for both teams have really done a good job tonight, because they're really making the running backs bounce it outside every time, and there's just not been much right up the middle.
Cook, the ball carrier, coming straight down the line and then trying to turn the corner, and nothing's there. Good lateral pursuit by the Hazen defense. Penn, one of the first guys there, maybe 1 yard on the carry for Cook. Hey, interested in the great programming on AETN after the state football finals? Visit aetn.org/schedule to see what's coming up. You can set program reminders for the shows you don't want to miss. Third down and 13. And again, movement before the snap.
I think they're going to call a timeout, Scott.
Did they get a timeout?
Yeah, I think they got the Coach Jones was not a happy camper. Yeah, he came running out to the 35-yard line and was not a happy camper.
Well, Hazen punted for the first time on their second possession, and now they're trying to get the ball back. 3rd down and long, and they just missed a touchdown on their first play of this drive, but they obviously are willing to throw the football on 1st down. But both these teams run-dominated, run-oriented. In fact, when we talked to the coaches, RJ, they told us they're pretty much mirror images of themselves.
Yeah, they really are. And you know, you look at both offensive lines, they're almost identical in size. Defensively, they both play well. The only real difference between the two teams are the number of kids on the roster. I mean, you look on the Junction City side, they've got 60 kids. You look on the Hazen side, they've got 30.
Scott, you brought up pace by Junction City. Coach Jones really preached it. They're wanting to try to hit one and get one past this Hazen D, but if they got to quit making all the turnovers on the line.
Got to figure this is a throwing down. It is, but it's a short pass to Cavante Haynes, and Haynes gets back to the original line of scrimmage, and then he is run out of bounds by Ajon Green. It's a gain of 3, but Junction City's going to punt.
Boy, you look at that, and there was not really much that went right for Junction City on that drive. It just kind of seemed like they were out of sync. Coach Jones came over and said, hey, look, that's why he called the timeout, because it just seemed like there was a lot of confusion. Even on that last play, it seemed like there was a lot of confusion.
Dante Gibson is going to punt it away for the Dragons. Decent hang time as the ball bounds about the 20-yard line, and it's going to be blown dead just inside the 20. Well, both offenses come out, strike on their opening possession, and now both defenses have made a stop. Pretty even game so far here early in the second quarter. It's a 35-yard kick for Junction City, and the Hornets get ready for their 3rd possession. 4th state championship appearance for the Hornets. They're 0-3 in those previous 3 appearances. As RJ mentioned earlier in the broadcast, their last time in this title game was 2014. They lost to this Junction City team. Toll will keep it himself, and Blaine Toll is turned back after a gain of 2. Javancier Cook with the stop.
Once again, you know, that it all goes back to that interior defensive line, and you see right there, it's not just one guy trying to take down the ball carrier. You've got a host of guys. You got 3 and 4 guys driving the ball carrier backwards, and just has nowhere to go. Trying to go up the middle right here, boom, and you got 3, 4, 5 guys. Heck, the whole team's right there, and they're going to take him backwards.
Yeah, and Hazen's going to call a timeout. So both coaches trying to reset a little bit here as the defense has, Eric, obviously caught up with the offense.
Yeah, Scott and RJ, I think both these guys have their coaches up top. They figured out a few things, and I just want to comment on the Toll kid. Is he not a warrior or what? I know you guys see him up in the booth, but he looks like the Terminator down here, and I tell you what, he can take a lot of hits. He got popped pretty hard on that one, so keep your eyes on him, how he maintains. We saw Justice Hill last week. Kind of got a little tired, but was able to fight through it in that second half. We'll keep our eyes on Toll to make sure he can really survive against a really big Junction City team.
In the first quarter, Toll had 4 carries for 17 yards. Neither team threw a pass in the first quarter. Junction City tried a couple in that next possession. Hey, support public media in Arkansas. Visit aetn.org to learn more about our local programming and community events. Big weekend of football again in round 2. This is the opener. Doubleheader tomorrow with the 3A and 4A contest. Ball is loose on the turf. Toll never had the snap. That's not a handoff. Green's going to pick it up off the turf and alertly get it back to the line of scrimmage. Javancier Cook with a stop for the Hornets.
It was a bad snap that time, Scott, and it just kind of rolled right to Cook, and he was able to pick it up and run and try to make something out of it. Got about a yard on the play, but boy, look at that. Just went right through his legs, and he was able to pick it up. I guess that's how they do handoffs over in Hazen. Just let it roll right through his legs. Great awareness, though. That is great awareness.
Look at this formation. An empty set from the run-dominated Hornets, but it's still going to be a ground game. Quarterback keeper by Toll, and Toll is not going to make the first down yardage. He's going to be about 3 yards shy. So they spread trips out in the formation, but Toll still kept it on the ground. Kyle Kidwell with the stop for Junction City.
Well, they're doing everything they can to try to spread this Junction City team out, because right now they're just stacking the box, and they know that Hazen's going to run it right at them, and so there's nothing Hazen can do. So they're trying to put 4 wide in the formation. Here's another bad snap.
Another bad snap, and that is a pop-up right there. That may barely get back to the line of scrimmage. And Weems, the punter, is slow to get up, and there is also a flag down where Weems sent the ball into the air. Do we have a roughing the kicker call coming up?
Well, either way, I mean, it would be a 5-yard penalty at the least, and wouldn't that give him the first down? Yeah, because, I mean, it was 4th and 4.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. On the receiving team. Penalties 15 yards. Automatic first down.
I mean, I know the fans aren't happy with the call, but look at this. Ball is a bad snap. He throws it and he runs right into him. I mean, I know the fans aren't happy with it, but you can't run into the kicker any way you look at it. And so you get the first down, and now it gives life to Hazen.
Well, RJ and Scott, Coach Jones is saying the ball did hit the ground, so it's kind of a live play at that point. But we all know we are in safety mode in football like we've never been. But I see why they would complain, because it looked like it would be a live play after it skipped up to him.
Yeah,
loose ball situation. First down for Hazen via the penalty. Trying to build on an 8-6 lead here in the second quarter of the 2A title game. Handoff Penn. Penn hits the hole hard and gets out to the 43-yard line. Stop made by Devontae Gilbert, gain of 5.
And Scott, sometimes breaks like that where you get a roughing the punter or any type of turn in the game, that can also sometimes breathe life into a team that's struggling.
6 yards on the game by Green.
Call it a 6-yard pickup for Hazen Green. The Hornets a second and short here. Toll to give to Green again. And Green muscles his way close to the sticks. It's a pickup of about 2. Devontae Gilbert again in on the stop for Junction City.
Another long, methodical drive that Hazen likes to put together. Scott, they get that 3 yards in a cloud of dust. They're not a team that's really going to bust it big on you. If they can just get, second and manageable, third manageable, they're going to pick it up most of the time.
Handoff Penn, and Penn is out into the open. Penn inside the 20. Nobody's going to even come close to catching Terrell Penn, a 53-yard touchdown run.
That's about par for the course. I say they're not usually one to break it on you, and then just like that, they take it for 53 yards. That, when you talk to Coach Besanken, he said he's got playmakers, but they kind of live and breathe on that 3 yards in a cloud of dust. And the offensive line did a great job opening up a hole and allowing for an open lane and a touchdown.
A no-doubter for the 5'10 junior. And Hazen will go for 2. Toll to give to Green, and Green gets close to the goal line. He is in. Hazen Green connects on the 2-point conversion, and the Hazen Hornets looking for their first ever football state championship, building a 16-6 lead here in the second quarter. You're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
Difference is much more than just vehicle sales and service. It's also our commitment to helping those who help others, like those who work to build communities, those who help to enrich the lives of children, those who provide a loving home to kids in need, and and those who lend a helping hand when you need it. It's a privilege to work with these wonderful organizations, and we're grateful for everything they do. That's the Everett difference. Everett Buick GMC.
PBS Kids is celebrating the holidays.
Oh, I love this time of year.
With a brand new movie from Let's Go Luna.
Everybody ready? Great!
Sure, this has your traditional tree, but it also has a special witch, donkey, and a very important Christmas log.
Christmas log? Yeah!
It's Luna's Christmas Around the World, a holiday movie event, starting Monday, December 10th on PBS Kids.
Honey, the Yule hamster is ready too!
A 6-play, 83-yard drive in 3 minutes and 7 seconds. Hazen connects on the 2-point conversion. They lead by 10. Hey, get updates and news about the state finals right on your phone. You can text AETN Sports to 313131. So Junction City finds themselves down by 10. Cavante Haynes on the kickoff return. Makes a nice move near midfield. He'll get into plus territory. A great kickoff return, and that's a spark the Dragons needed.
Hey, RJ and Scott, real quickly, I'm down here with the Junction City sideline. Several coaches kind of chirp back to their players coming off the field and goes, these Hazen guys are for real. You got to get into the game right now.
Yeah, I mean, and look, you didn't become 13-0 for no reason. This is Coach Basankin has done a good job with this offensive line, and they do gap control really well on defense, and they just do everything right, fundamentals well.
Oh, and handoff to Gibson. He is met in the backfield by Perry, and the ball is loose. It looks like he's going to be called down. It did pop loose, but I think Cook was called down.
Oh, no, they're spotting it back at the 49.
You're right. So Cook made the recovery, but it is a fumble.
Boy, I mean, what a missed opportunity right there for Hazen. Hazen had an opportunity to really jump out on this one by getting that fumble.
Hutchison to throw. Hutchison high, intended for Cavante Haynes. And just like that, it is 3rd and long for the Dragons.
I tell you, Scott, you have an opportunity right there, and that's the second pass they've thrown here in the game, and they've both been high, and you wonder with those high passes if the rain's having any effect on trying to throw that football.
Well, Brady Hutchison is a 58% completion guy, so he knows how to connect. 953 passing yards coming into this game. He's going to throw here, has time, and he throws over the middle, incomplete. Haynes almost made a one-handed catch. That was almost a terrific catch by Cavante Haynes. He's obviously the #1 receiver by far on the team. 34 catches coming in, 901 yards, 26.5 per catch. He's the favorite target of Hutchison, but he couldn't rein that one in.
Boy, threw a dart right there, didn't he? I mean, that was a fastball across the middle.
Rasheed Mills has dropped back to return the punt for the Hazen Hornets, and Dante Gibson is ready to kick it away. Brings down the high snap. End over end is going to bounce right into the breadbasket of Mills. Mills changes direction. Mills has room. Mills will be knocked out of bounds at the 35-yard line by Jakyron Cook. And Hazen has good field position to start with 5:23 on the clock and a 10-point lead.
Boy, Scott, he needed one block, and he would have been able to take it to the house. Watch this return. You see him start running backwards, and he gets a guy getting his way, but right here, boy, he gets a backside block, but just not enough, and it pushes him out of bounds. And you go back and watch that tape and say, what if, man, if you just were able to cut it back inside and take that thing up. Look at the time of possession right there. Hazen, 13 minutes, 42 seconds. Junction City, 4 minutes and 55 seconds.
Toll back out there, hands off to Green. Green tests the right side again. This time Junction City all over it. One of the first guys there, Cody Atkins, up from his nose guard spot. Well, Junction City's winning some battles in the trenches, but if their offensive line executes on a play, And the same goes for Junction City. Both these guys have quick running backs that can hit the hole and go a long way. Toll gets the carry here for minimal gain.
Well, you go to bring Toll down, and you have guys that are just essentially falling on him because he falls forward. He's like a tree. He's 6'5", and he's going to pick up a couple extra yards.
Gerodney Tubbs made the stop for Junction City. Well, the Dragons need the football back. Down 10. And getting into the late moments of the first half. Penn, the ball carrier. He's got room around the edge, and he's got the first down into plus territory. Brought down at the 47-yard line of Junction City after a gain of 8. And Hazen keeps the drive alive.
Scott, is it me, or does it look like that Junction City defense just getting worn down right now by that offensive line? Just that offensive line for Hazen is just doing a good job getting a big push and just pushing those Junction City Dragons off the defensive line. Looks like we're going to have a timeout.
Looks like it's going to be an official's timeout. May have an equipment problem or something that's going to send somebody from the game as Cody Atkins heads to the sidelines for Junction City, and Adonis Jones comes in to replace him. That's a football name for you. Adonis Jones. First down and goal. Or first down and 10, rather. Penn gets the carry. Terrell Penn gets about a yard. The stop made by Samaje Livingston. Hey, if you want to relive all the action, championship games will be available to watch online starting Monday at aetn.org/sports. 2nd and 9. Penn gets the give again. And Penn is turned away, trying to test the right side. It's a pickup of 2. Javancier Cook with the stop for Junction City.
Well, I think the Hazen fans are a little upset because they thought there may have been a face mask right there, but he just got jerked around pretty good by his chest plate. I didn't get a good view of it. Let's look right here. And I couldn't quite tell. It looked like he just got the inside of his shoulder pad, but
that's where it started.
Yeah.
Handoff Green, hit in the backfield, makes one guy miss and gets back to the line of scrimmage. No gain. It's Cook again from the linebacking spot for the Dragons. And we've got a timeout again. It's going to be 4th down.
So Junction City called the timeout. Now they've only got one timeout remaining here in the quarter, and you got to think if you're Hazen at this point, if you go for it here on 4th down and don't get it, you give Junction City a great field. I mean, they're going to be at midfield with 2:43 to play in this game, and I would imagine Coach Besanken's in there talking to his guys saying, hey, they're probably going over the options because they have run the ball so well on Junction City. If you look in the game so far, Hazen has run for 149 yards. So they've run the ball well, but this is a gamble right here if you're Coach Besanken.
Junction City will get the football first, too, in the 3rd quarter. If you remember, Hazen got it first to start the game. So this could be a real momentum swing if you give Junction City the ball back with very little room needing to go. So they're obviously going to opt to punt it away. Jacob Weems with a chance to, they're going to fake it. And it goes to Toll. Toll has nowhere to go. No, it's Green. I'm sorry, Green with the carry for Hazen, but he will lose 2. And Junction City will take over on downs.
Wow, I mean, that was the gamble that they talked about in the huddle, and I'll tell you what, I don't know if that's a good play to go with if you're 4th and 5 and you want to go with a fake and then work the option in there. Junction City did a great job, especially with the penetration right there was Gerodney Tubbs. He was able to get in the backfield and really disrupt that whole play.
Handoff Gibson, and Gibson is met at the line of scrimmage by several Hornets, but Blaine Toll, the quarterback, from his defensive tackle spot right there to meet him first.
73, Jake Walker on the stop.
As RJ mentioned, Junction City has one timeout as the clock nears the 2-minute mark. Out of the pistol. Play being changed at the line of scrimmage. Gibson behind Hutchison. Hutchison throws, and that ball batted away by Penn. It was intended for Jakyron Cook, and really a dangerous throw from Hutchison.
Well, Penn saw that one coming all the way, and he cheated up a little bit and was able to, if the ball wouldn't have been thrown so high, he was going to be able to pick that thing off and take it to the house. Watch right here. He was just throwing a little too high, and he couldn't quite get to it, so he just tried to stick a finger on it.
Well, now it's 3rd down and 9. If you throw here and you throw incomplete, Hazen has a chance to get the ball back with time on the clock. They're going to keep it on the ground, though, with Cook. Cook weaves his way through the defense. Cook refusing to go down, fighting for that marker, and it is going to be close.
Scott, I think he got it. I think he got it as the official is standing at the 46-yard line, and that's where they needed to get to for the first down, and they're going to eye down. It's all the way across the field where those markers are. And Junction City's wanting them to stop the time to get the measurement as there's a minute 35.
What do you think, Eric?
It looks like they got about a healthy half a foot there, guys. From where I'm looking at right now, the rain's not helping the view, but looks good to me from right here.
I mean, there's not a crown on the field here. I don't know why you need to bring the chains over, because you could be able to see all the way across.
Well, something I've noticed from the coaching staff at Junction City, guys, they are really trying to get that running game back going. No passes are being completed right now, and it's just kind of flipping the game back around just when Coach Jones called that timeout to get the ball with a little bit more time.
I don't think he got it.
Wow. It's short. My bad, guys. 1 for 1 this weekend.
Yeah, Eric, you know what? We won't go back to you, Eric, for the eagle eye.
Well, what the marker I was looking at, it looked like he got about a half a foot.
Well, I mean, he's 1 for 2. I mean, he got the last one. You can't get them all.
Well, what do you do here, guys?
I mean, you got to go for it.
Yeah.
At this point, you've got time on the clock, and you got to get 6 inches.
Yep. I think Coach Jones is going to go for it here. He's got his offense in there, 4th and just a few inches.
I mean, even if you go with the quarterback sneak just to get your 6 inches.
Brady Hutchison is not as tall as Blaine Toll, but he's 5'10". See if he just lays over his center here and tries to get the few inches. He does. I'll tell you what.
I don't know if they got it. Maybe that second push was...
Well, he definitely was met, but I think he fell forward and got it, depending on the mark. It looks like where they're marking him, it's going to be a first down.
Well, the far side official is kind of standing at the 46, but
that's
the
near
side is more towards the 45, and they're going to call it a first down.
That could end up being a pretty big play in this game if Junction City can put points on the board before half. Struggling passing game. They scored on their opening drive of the game and not since. Dante Gibson in the backfield. Hutchison's got to keep it. Looked like maybe he bobbled it a little bit there on the snap, but he picks it up and takes it behind his center for a gain of about 3. Jake Walker with the stop for the Hornets.
Scott, I love how my officiating friends from across the state, Eddie Enlow being one, sends me a text saying, that's the reason why you bring the chains across the field when you've got 6 inches to go. Thank you, Eddie.
Gibson in the backfield, a pitch to him. He's going to throw, and he throws back to his quarterback. Hutchison makes the catch, but he has to fall on it to make the catch, so he doesn't get the first down. Jacob Weems there for the stop for Hazen. The clock now at 32 seconds, and Junction City's going to have to hurry. They still have 1 timeout remaining. Gibson's going to make a quick snap, and now he's going to unload. Up the middle of the field, it is caught by DJ Hill inside the 5. What a play. 16 seconds, they got to hurry, get up there and spike it. If they want to save that timeout, 36 yards on the pass play. The first pass completion of upfield anyway. First vertical pass completion for Junction City tonight.
Well, look at that coverage right there by Penn. He just threw his arms up. He didn't know where the ball was, and great concentration by Junction City to make the catch and go and get close to the end zone.
Handoff Gibson. He's met in the backfield, but he scores the touchdown. And Junction City right back in it with 10 seconds to play in the half.
If that doesn't give you momentum going into the locker room, Scott, I don't know what will. You get a big pass play and then take it down to the 2-yard line and just able to punch it in with 10 seconds remaining. That's a big-time momentum swing for the Junction City Dragons.
And they will go for 2. A chance to close the gap to 2 points. It was a 10-point Hazen lead. Junction City with 4th and inches. And they got it, and now they scored, and Hutchison almost intercepted. And the 2-point conversion will be no good. Rasheed Mills nearly stepped in front of it and took it.
Well, Scott, another drive for Junction City that goes 8 plays, 56 yards in 2 minutes and 27 seconds. That's the second drive for Junction City that has been 2.5 minutes for a drive. So they're scoring quickly. It's taken Hazen 7-minute drives to get in the end zone.
Hey, see what makes Arkansas schools great. Check out Spirit videos from schools around the state at aetn.org/sports. Boy, I can't believe that was a big-time score by Junction City. 4th and inches. They go for it. They get the first down.
Yeah,
they needed that.
That is a big-time score for sure. And, now you have a different pregame or halftime speech when you go in the locker room. Instead of being down by essentially 3 scores, you go down by 1 score and you say, hey, guys, you're still in this ball game. You're playing with these guys right down to the wire, and really you're able to give a more motivational speech at halftime.
Jack Smith set to kick off for the Dragons. He'll pooch kick it away. Hazen will return it. It's Penn. Stopped shy of the 35-yard line by Jakyron Cook with 4 seconds still. It's a 32-yard kick, 7-yard return.
Well, now, Scott, I would imagine if you're Hazen, you just take a knee, take this thing to the locker room, and get your guys out of this rain and cold and kind of focus on the second half. Don't forget, at the half, Eric Sullivan's going to catch up with Junction City head coach, Coach Jones, Stephen Jones.
Well, we'll see if that's what they do. They don't throw the football much, so you would expect them to keep it on the ground, and they do. It'll be Ajon Green, and Green will be stopped for a short gain of maybe 2, and that will be the final play of the first half here at War Memorial Stadium in the Class 2A High School State Championship game, and it's been a good one. Hazen built a 16-6 lead, but Junction City gets a big score before halftime. They also get the football first when we begin play in the third quarter. Let's go down to the sidelines, and Eric Sullivan's with the coach.
All right, we're here with head coach Stephen Jones. How big was it to get that touchdown conversion? The passing game was a little off in that quarter, but how big was that to get back in this game?
Yeah, it was a big momentum swing for us. So going into the half, that's great that we were able to get in the end zone and get the ball back coming out and start the second half.
Any message to tell your guys? Hazen's pretty good. The guys came out and kind of popped you a little bit, but now you're back in this thing.
Yeah, we expected that. We just got to not get behind the sticks with early penalties and just hang on to the football and execute.
The weather's not fun right now, but you are playing for a state title. What are you telling your team at halftime?
Man, weather's no issue. We're going to get after it. Yep.
All right, Coach, thank you much. Good luck in the second half. All right, Scott and RJ, back up to you. I'm coming up to get a little bit drier if you guys don't mind.
I don't mind at all, Eric. Come on up. We'll get you warm and set for a good second half of action. We are at the intermission at War Memorial. It's Hazen on top of Junction City. 16-12. Back after this, you're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
Broadcast of this championship game is made possible by
Law Offices of Gary Green, a people's practice, representing people with serious injuries in areas of personal injury, nursing home negligence, and product liability. We are proud to be underwriters of AETN.
You'll find us at the end of a lot of long country roads, covering over 60% of the great state of Arkansas to provide reliable power to over 500,000 homes, farms, and businesses. The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, your local energy partners.
16-12, the lead for the Hazen Hornets here at the intermission on a cold, rainy night in Central Arkansas. The Hornets had a 16-6 lead, but the Dragons get a late score in the second quarter to tighten things up in what has been a fun football game to watch.
It really has. And, you know, a lot of people don't like the 3 yards in a cloud of dust type of offense. In today's age, everybody likes to spread it out, throw it long, and see it. But really, we've had a really fun game. You think you've had 2 long runs that resulted in scores, and really, it's just been between the guard and tackles, and it's just hit you in the mouth one play after another, and it's been a lot of fun so far.
Not much 3 yard in a cloud of dust when you got running backs that can be as explosive as the running backs on both these teams are.
Both these running backs have been so good. We'll take a look at the highlights, and when you look at it right here, this is how everything opened up. Was the first score by Terrell Penn with the 1 yard run. Then Junction City jumps back in with a 58-yard run right here. Took 6 plays, 77 yards, 2 minutes 11 seconds. It's 8-6 as Hazen leads. Now here's your next play. It's Terrell Penn, 53-yard run. He answers right back on 6 plays, 83 yards. It's 16-6 at this point. And your final scoring play came right here as Gibson was able to come in and make this big. He's going to make this big catch first, and then Gibson's going to come in and make the touchdown run. And it's going to be 16-12 right there as Hazen leads at the half. It's 16-12, and now it's time for some stats.
149 yards to 146 yards. That's about as even as it gets. We knew Hazen wasn't going to throw the ball much. They haven't actually thrown it at all in this game. The Junction City Dragons have only thrown it 5 times. They only had that one completion that was there late in the half that got the ball inside the 5-yard line. It's all about the running game, and Hazen has the edge there. First downs, Hazen with the edge there as well. That partly because of that long drive to start the game, a 15-play touchdown drive there. A few more plays, too. They've got the edge in time of possession big time, and they're 6 out of 10 on third downs. That's as big as it gets as well here at the intermission. Well, when you think about what's going to happen in the third quarter, I think you're just going to get more of the same. You know, both coaches think it was going to be decided at the line of scrimmage, and it's really going to be a war of attrition in the second half.
Well, and you look at that's a big number that you saw, 6 of 10 on third down for Hazen. That means they're really doing a good job with that second effort, getting that third down and 5, third down and 2 to get the third down pickups, and it's really started. It was wearing Junction City down early in this ball game, and I think that that big pass play late kind of re-energized the Dragons a little bit.
Well, we have much to do here at halftime. We hope you'll stay with us as we continue on the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals right here on AETN Sports.
The moment of discovery. You can't beat it.
There's a dream that waits like a tiger.
That was amazing.
An ember that grows to a fire. And you're climbing to the greatest heights. The world can't stop us now. They try to bring us down, but we just burn brighter.
Wow, how about that?
As part of AETN's coverage of the finals, we are showcasing outstanding student athletes in each division and in each game. In 2A, we are featuring Seth Haynes of Quitman High School, a young man with a solid academic backup plan because, as he'll tell you, not everyone makes it to the NFL.
I just set a time aside after practice and just do my homework.
His grades show that he does what he's supposed to in class, and that carries over, and it's going to stay with him.
I have a 3.8 GPA. That's with AP classes as well. And then I've made all A's and B's.
Whether it's on the field, in the classroom, at home, outside, in the community, he does the little things right.
You can't succeed in life with just sports. You got to have academics to back it up. You got to have a backup plan. Like, not everyone can make it to the NFL or whatever like that.
He doesn't say a whole lot. He doesn't have to. Usually his actions and how he carries himself, he doesn't have to use a lot of words. I think that's a big deal.
Coach is very supportive. He does get on us. I mean, that's what all coaches do. And my family, they're always on me, but they tell me just to try your hardest, and if you do that, you'll succeed at football and life.
Congratulations to Seth, and congratulations to the outstanding student athletes participating in today's game. From Junction City, Dante Gibson. Congratulations, Dante. And from the Hazen Hornets, Ross Harper. Congratulations to him as well. Our halftime continues in just a moment from War Memorial Stadium. You're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
PBS Kids is celebrating the holidays.
Love this time of year.
With a brand new movie from Let's Go Luna.
Everybody ready? Ready!
Sure, this has your traditional tree, but it also has a special witch, donkey, and a very important Christmas log.
Christmas log? Yeah!
It's Luna's Christmas Around the World, a holiday movie event, starting Monday, December 10th on PBS Kids.
Honey, the Yule hamster is ready too!
One of the best things about being a community-focused bank like Centennial is that we encourage our employees to volunteer and give back. That's why our bankers are often seen around town involved in activities that have less to do with money matters and more to do with supporting others. From charity events and disaster relief to Chamber of Commerce and civic activities, we enjoy rolling up our sleeves and helping make our community a better place. See for yourself the difference our local commitment can make. More information available at my100bank.com. Centennial Bank, member FDIC.
Halftime continues here, Junction City and Hazen in the 2A state championship game. There are trained athletes all up and down the sidelines at these games, including the Spirit Squads. For a look at what it takes to excel, let's meet Stephanie Anaya, POM captain at Springdale High School.
I've always known that dance was for me, that I wanted a part of it, but then once I joined dance, I just realized how serious the dance community is and how big it is. And I hear people say, oh, dance is not a sport. Dance is a sport, and there's just so much out there, and it's so beautiful, and there's so much different type of dance, and I know that I want to keep doing that for as long as I can. When I found out I was captain, I felt ready, but at the same time, you can't just start showing leadership skills your senior year. They have to be there from the beginning, and you have to actually show your true self.
I think one of the biggest things that she does that a lot of people don't recognize is she kind of sacrifices herself in that she knows that not everybody's going to like her at every moment of the day, that not everybody's going to be happy with her when she pushes them to be successful. And because she wants to do well, she wants to succeed, and she understands that everybody needs somebody to push them to be successful. She's willing to not be everybody's best friend, but to be that person who pushes to success every day. And I think that that's a really important job she takes on.
You just have to keep going and know that at the end something good's going to come out of it, and it'll just be worth it.
That was a student film produced by Marlene DeBora and Alexa Calderon with Springdale High School. Many coaches will tell you that a football team can become a kind of family. For Lake Hamilton High School coach Tommy Gillerin and his former player Dale, that dynamic went much deeper. Here's their story.
I grew up in a broken home. My parents, they were never married, and I was raised most of my early life by my mother. We struggled pretty often. I was in trouble a lot at school. The one thing that kind of kept my head on straight was football. It was really the only thing that I loved at the time. Seventh grade, we started to play football for the school. And, Coach Gillerin is my coach for the first time. And I remember he would always invite us to what he called FCA, which was Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And I didn't know at the time what FCA was or what it was about. I just knew that they served free pizza. And I was all about for some free food. I was looking for any way I could to get away from home because my relationship with my dad was, for lack of a better term, non-existent. Growing up, I don't think my dad went to one of my football games. And that meant a lot to me that he would go, but he never went. And so it was really hard on me. I was looking for any type of father figure, any type of authority figure, any type of structure in my life that, was willing to be that for me.
Good. As a head football coach and just as a coach, I look at all the kids and see, the needs for all of them, and I try to look at all of them. And so, Dale's probably not the only one, but he's the one that seemed to want to do those things, and I knew he needed structure. So he started coming over a little bit more, and in fact, he went on vacation with us that summer. Yeah, we took him to Kanaka Camp. It's a family camp in Branson, Missouri, and it's a Christian-based camp. It's a lot of fun. You do a lot of activities and do different things every day. And
I remember they were taking family pictures of all the coaches and their family, and they said, "All right, Gillerin, it's your turn." And, my last name's not Gillerin, so I'm just hanging back. And I'll never forget, Mom, Melody, she goes, "Come on, get in the picture. You're part of our family." And I've been in the picture ever since.
And then I guess the story changes his junior year, going to his senior year. His dad says he's going to Indiana for work, and he's going to be gone.
A couple days turned into a week turned into 2 weeks, 2 weeks turned into a month, and my dad never came back. And school was about to start, and I just remember sitting on the couch with his wife, Melody, who I call Mom now, and we're kind of brainstorming. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I could try to, pick up a job somewhere and, try to do something. And I just remember her saying to me, me and Coach have talked about it, and we've prayed about it. And we've talked to the girls, and we feel like you're already a part of our family. And we don't want you to have to struggle through your senior year. No kid should have to do that. And she said, Grandma and Grandpa, they bought you an extra bed to put in an extra room, and we want you to live with us. And I just remember breaking down and being so thankful.
The biggest thing I want to do is impact people's lives, on and off the field, more off the field, because, they're going to remember some of the games, but they're going to remember how you treated them and how you gave them opportunities and how you encouraged them and how you changed their life. And so, the Lord put him in our life for a reason, and that we thought he'd be a part of our life and, a great part of our family.
Smith was my last name beforehand. Somebody asked me a while back, why the name change, and I wanted to do it to honor them, and mostly, because of all the sacrifices they made for me. You think about a kid, I grew up, I didn't have anything, but they gave me a family.
That is an amazing story and a powerful example of the influence a coach can have in a young person's life. We're almost set for second half action. We're going to take a break now, though. You're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
It's a beautiful day. We are the curious.
The
the adventurous.
Those venturing out for the first time.
And those who've never lost our sense of wonder.
You sing this?
We are the hungry.
The strong. I must be the greatest.
The joyful.
A happy little cloud. We believe there is always more we can uncover.
More we can explore.
We believe
In the capacity for goodness.
And the potential for greatness.
The torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans.
PBS.
PBS.
Anytime we want, anywhere we are.
Hazen leads Junction City 16-12 at the intermission of the 2A state championship game. Hey, earlier in the halftime, we featured in 2A Seth Haynes of Quitman High School as an outstanding student athlete. We want to talk about and say congratulations to a couple of outstanding student athletes participating in this game tonight. For Junction City, senior running back Dante Gibson. He has a 3.10 GPA. He plans to study pre-med. And from Hazen, we want to say congratulations to student athlete Ross Harper. He's a senior guard with a GPA of 4.0. He plans to study engineering. And they will be back out there along with their teammates in about 5 minutes from now as the clock is down to close to 2. And one of the teams is back. Hazen is back out onto the field. RJ still waiting. Junction City, they'll get a 3-minute warm-up period once the clock hits 0. But if you're in the locker room at halftime, you talked about it, how it's going to change for Junction City. That halftime speech is a little different because of the way the half ended.
Yeah, and not only that, but you get the ball in the second half. So you can actually take what you got in the halftime, that little bit of momentum that you have, and now apply it with the first drive. So you don't have to worry about, what did coach say or the nerves building for the second half, because for these seniors, this is their last half of football. If you think about it, if you're a senior, this is your last half of football. And so really I think that if you're Junction City, you come out and you say, hey, look, we got our main priority right now, run the football. Maintain the run, get the run going, and then you saw where the pass worked there. So if you can work a little bit of the passing game in, that seemed to work for Junction City there.
We talked about it in the pregame show. Hazen only has 30 people on the roster.
Yeah.
Is depth going to be an issue for the Hornets in the second half?
Well, it hasn't been throughout the season, but
Nope.
but then once you look at the schedule, it didn't really seem like anybody posed that much of a threat for Hazen throughout the season, so it didn't really matter all that much. Now they've got a true threat with this Junction City team, and it could. I mean, you look at any team that is understaffed or undermanned, anytime you're having to play those guys both ways, it can be a grind, especially with the conditions that we have. We've got a rain that's coming down a little bit harder. It's getting a little bit colder out there. It hurts a little bit more when you get hit. And so we'll see how this second half holds up for these guys of Hazen.
Well, you talk about the way those last few minutes played out, and Hazen had the 10-point lead. They had the football. They had a fourth down at midfield. They had a decision to make. They lined up to punt, decided to do the fake, and it didn't work, and that gave Junction City the chance to go less yardage to get before they got the touchdown.
Yeah, and here's the thing: if you're Hazen, you got to stick to what you're doing. They have done a really good job of running the football. That offensive line, I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times throughout this broadcast, is that they have done a good job of getting the push. Now it's up to those running backs, and Blaine told it to really move the football down the field, and they did that in the first half. They really did. If you think about Hazen there in the first half, they only had one or two mistakes, but they were big mistakes. They were mistakes that cost them there in the half, and so just got to go back to the half, regroup, say, what did we do successfully there in the first half that made work? And it was running off tackle, running between the guards, and then really allowing for Blaine Toll to run the football. That was all their keys to success. And once again, though, they had those long drives, those 7-minute drives that really just kind of wore that Junction City defense down. And you could tell after those first two drives against Junction City, they were tired.
Only one pass has been completed in this football game, but it was one of the biggest plays of the first half.
It really was, and if you talk to Joe Pasankin, as we did before the game, he said, look, if we have to throw 5 passes in a game, things aren't going well.
No.
And we've already seen where they've had to throw one so far. And Junction City's been the more aggressor when it comes to throwing the football, and they've thrown 3 and completed 1.
Here is that pass again that got him inside the 5.
Yeah, and right there. And in that time, you got a little bit of luck on your side, but you go up and you make the catch. Great concentration right there, and you make the catch, and all things are good. So, hey, 16-12 right now. It's anybody's game in here at half.
DJ Hill was the guy who caught that pass, a 6', 223-pound senior. It was his 7th pass reception of the year.
Not bad. Not a bad time to get your 7th reception, is it? I mean, especially if they go on to win this game, because Junction City fans will remember that play, and it'll be a lot of fun moving forward.
Well, we showed you some halftime stats, some team stats. Let's tell you about some individual numbers here in the first half for Junction City. Jakyron Cook is the leading rusher with 4 carries for 73 yards. He has the touchdown, and that was a 58-yard run. Dante Gibson with 6 carries for 25 yards and a touchdown. Brady Hutchison has carried 4 times for 8 yards, and Cavante Haynes with 1 carry for -5. Hutchison 1 out of 5 throwing the football. Dante Gibson 2 for 2 throwing the football for 42 yards. DJ Hill has the catch that we told you about. That was a 38-yard grab. Hutchison has caught one on a throwback, and Cavante Haynes has 1 catch for 3 yards as well. Passing in the football game, I said 1 pass had been complete. Brady Hutchison had only completed 1 pass. Dante Gibson actually is 2 for 2. Terrell Penn is the leading ball carrier for Hazen. 11 carries, 92 yards, 2 touchdown scores. Is long a 53-yard run. That's 8.4 per carry. Ajon Green, 13 carries for 40 yards. Blaine Toll, the quarterback, 9 carries for 21 yards, but he's also lost 10. And Jacob Weems, 1 carry for no yards. Leading tacklers, the 2 Cooks for Junction City. Jakyron Cook at the safety position, and Javassier Cook from the linebacking position. Javassier has 8 tackles. Jakyron with 7. Terrell Penn, the leading tackler for Hazen, with 5, and Ajon Green has 4 stops as well, as we're about ready for second half action. It'll be Jacob Weems to kick off for the Hazen Hornets, and we're underway in the third quarter. That one angling towards the sideline. It's going to be fielded by Haynes, and Cavante Haynes is hit immediately.
That was a great job that time by Donovan Harris of Hazen. He was able to come in and just wrap up the ankles and take him down, and he wasn't able to go anywhere at that time.
32 yards on the kickoff, no return. And Junction City with a chance to take the lead to start here in the third quarter. They'll start at their own 32. Jakyron Cook will start off in the backfield beside quarterback Brady Hutchison. Hutchison gives it to Cook, looking for room on the right edge. Cuts it upfield, and that's well done as he'll get positive yards over the 35-yard line. Cade Perry with the stop. It's a gain of 6.
Well, nice job that time. You stretch the defense out. You essentially are running down the line, but you're gaining ground as you're moving forward, and he finally just cut it up and was able to get 6 yards out of the play.
Hand off to Devontae Gibson. Gibson makes a nice cutback and gets the first down over the 45-yard line. He'll be stopped by Perry in the middle of that Hazen defense. It's a gain of 7. And Junction City moves the sticks.
Boy, Junction City wanting to go with a really fast pace in this ball game.
Right back on the line. Here's Gibson again. Tries to find room outside, comes back inside, and that was a good job. Penn will make the stop, but Ajon Green turned it back upfield. That was a good play from the corner there by the defensive end.
And here's the thing. Junction City's wanting to move the ball, move the pace a little bit faster than what they did in the second half to try to wear down this big defensive front for Hazen.
Cook, the ball carrier on the left side. Rolled down shy of the 50. Penn in there along with Taylor after a gain of 2.
Now it's a big third down, Scott. I mean, you got 3rd down and 7, and you've got to find a way. I wouldn't be surprised if they come out with a passing play right here.
Dante Gibson back in as the running back for Junction City. And he gets the give. Ball is loose. He has to fall on it. Back at the 46-yard line. And Junction City is going to bring on the punting unit. It's a loss of 3.
So it's 4th down.
You can watch all of the championship games as many times as you want online beginning Monday at aetn.org/sports. Gibson brings down the high snap. He gets a nice kick away this one. That's his best kick of the night. Takes a good bounce. Will it be saved in? Boy, a diving effort, but it got into the end zone.
Oh, and it looks like there's a Junction player down.
Oh, yeah, it was a great effort, too. You hate to see that.
I mean, they landed on top of each other that time, and they were both going after, trying to save the ball from going in the end zone. And I can't quite see who that number is, but boy, that is a tough situation right there, because they were just both trying to make a play and they landed on top of each other. Great punt that time, and trying to pin them inside the 5-yard line. And you look at it, and the player for Junction City, that is, looks like it's going to be Cook.
Yeah, that is one of their leading tacklers in this game, Uvasier Cook.
You wonder sometimes, right there you can see him, he's holding his chest. Maybe he just landed wrong on his chest and just got the wind knocked out of him, but looks like he's just trying to suck air right there. I bet you that's what it is, Scotty. He just got landed wrong, and he'll walk it back over and take some big breaths and try to get back in this ball game.
He was a starting linebacker. He was the leading tackler with 8 stops in the first half for the Dragons. So they will tend to him on the sidelines. And meantime, Blaine Toll leads the Hornets out on the field for the first time in the third quarter. Offensively, handoff goes to Penn. Penn into that pack of tacklers, but it's always moving forward for Hazen. That's a gain of 4.
Yeah, it's just drive and push, and that offensive line does a good job of playing to the whistle. And you see right at the end of that play for Hazen, they were driving hard, and really Jacob Weems was trying to get his guy, and he was just driving him past the 30.
Toll hands off to Green, and Green gets over the 25-yard line. He'll be stopped at the 28. 2 yards shy of the first down. Gerodney Tubbs with the stop for Junction City on the line. It's a gain of 4. It's just strength against strength there. Hazen's offensive line against Junction City's defensive line, and Hazen's getting a push.
Well, and what they're doing is they're setting themselves, when they get to third down, like this situation right here, it's 3rd down and 1.
Jacob Weems is under center, and he gives to Penn. Penn has the first down. Penn breaks 3 tackles, and he's still on his feet. Wow. And they'll blow it dead. I believe he stepped out of bounds.
I was about to say, that is a miracle right there. He's a magic man, and able to get out of all that, and he stepped out of bounds. But still, it's a good run. I mean, watch this. Goes right side lead blocker. Whoop. He's able to get past that one, and 3 guys, and he's still on his feet, and he steps out of bounds right there, though. I think it was really close, Scott, but I think the heel of his foot, I don't know if this is a good view to look at it, but yeah, I mean, you see it right there. I think it might be over the top. You might be able to see it better, but either way.
The official was right there.
Yeah, he did a good job. Nice call, and either way, it's first down.
Weems again takes the snap under center, and the handoff left side goes to Ajon Green. And there is nothing there. Again, Junction City's won some battles up front, but just not consistently enough to get their team the ball back. That time of possession really an issue tonight.
Yeah, and really Hazen's just got the bigger offensive line. I mean, they're doing a good job of pushing around that defensive line for Junction City.
Toll. Handoff Penn. This time Penn again stopped after minimal gain. That's about a 2-yard pickup.
I will say this about the Junction City defense, though. That defensive line may be getting pushed around, but they are really good of getting off of blocks and trying to find the ball carrier to make the tackle. And they've done that. They may be undersized when it comes to the offensive line, but like watch right here. You see that they come up that B gap and you shed a block and make a tackle. I mean, good job identifying where the ball carrier is.
Toll's going to throw, and he unloads. He's got a man, and is caught inside the 20. To the pylon, Quincy McAdoo, touchdown Hazen. 57 yards.
Scott, what's this turned into the PA Little Rock Christian game all of a sudden? I mean,
whoa now.
We're throwing the football around.
That was a good-looking ball
yeah, it was
by Toll.
Great throw, catch, and I mean, caught him. It was a little behind him, but he was able to make the catch and go into the end zone.
Well, that's the one thing when you run the ball as much as they do, it does tend to set up the passing game. And Toll connects on a deep bomb to Quincy McAdoo. Hazen will go for 2. The ball on the turf again. It is going to be picked up by Hazen's Green, but Green's going to be wrestled down way back at the 20, and the 2-point conversion fails. But that lead is back out to 10. The Hornets on top, 22-12, 7:03 to go in the third quarter. Back to War Memorial in just a moment. You're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
Made possible by
Law Offices of Gary Green, a people's practice, representing people with serious injuries in areas of personal injury, nursing home negligence, and product liability. We are proud to be underwriters of AETN.
You'll find us at the end of a lot of long country roads, covering over 60% of the great state of Arkansas to provide reliable power to over 500,000 homes, farms, and businesses. The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, your local energy partners.
Why choose local? Because local companies stay rooted in their communities. They support other local businesses and provide jobs for your friends and neighbors. At Fidelity Communications, we take great pride in being a local company that's dedicated to the communities we serve. Jobs and opportunities for the people you love. That's why you choose local. Fidelity Communications. We're here, we're local. Be connected with Fidelity, your local internet, TV, and home phone provider.
Hazen scores on 6 plays, 80 yards, 2-minute and 37-second drive, a 58-yard touchdown pass from Blaine Toll to Quincy McAdoo. Help support AETN's continuing coverage of high school sports. Consider becoming a sustaining member. Find out how at aetn.org. Jacob Weems angles the kickoff towards the far sidelines. It's Haynes on the return. Running a long way laterally. Turns the corner, though, and he will get a nice return up to the 42, 43-yard line. And Hazen quarterback Blaine Toll makes the stop. Well, we have our stat monitor here in front of us, RJ, and I think it's worth pointing out that Blaine Toll's quarterback rating is 917.2.
Yes. 1 for 1, 58 yards and a touchdown. The highest quarterback rating in the country.
It's time to just cut it off now, right?
Yep.
I mean, but that was a nice-looking pass.
That was a great pass.
I don't know why they don't throw a little more.
Well, you know what? Stick to what got you here, but you mix it up and changed up a little bit to throw the defense off.
Good field position to start for Junction City. Down in a 10-point hole. Handoff to Gibson on the right side, and Gibson follows his blocks near the midfield stripe. It's going to be a gain of 5 for Gibson.
Dropped at the 49-yard line. Number 61, Jackson Shulman. And 56.
So Junction City in familiar territory here. They were down 10 in the second quarter.
6-yard pickup.
Again, it's Gibson. Gibson met in the backfield, but he escapes the ankle tackle and falls forward to the 46-yard line, right at the first down yard marker. Blaine Toll again there on defense for Hazen making the stop, but not before Junction City gets the first down.
You know, what's really impressive is the balance. Look at this. 1, 2, and he dives forward. But, boy, he's just able to keep his footing on that first contact.
And the 1-2 punch in that Junction City backfield. Now it goes to Cook. Cook will gain 5. Stopped by Ajon Green. You talked about it in the pregame show, R.J. Gibson and Cook. A good 1-2 punch for the Dragons.
Yeah.
And the handoff goes to Cook again. Cook is hit hard, but he comes out of the tackle, and he's inside the 40 down to the 36-yard line. Jacob Weems with the stop right at the marker again. And Junction City, their offensive line now controlling this drive.
Well, I mean, you look at this, Scott, and Cook and Gibson both. There's a reason why these guys are almost 3,000-yard rushers, because it's after first contact. They just keep driving. They keep finding space to run the football.
Gibson on the right side, and he was chased down from behind, but he does fall forward for positive yards. Damari Buchanan was in the backfield right away, and he brought him down from behind.
I mean, you look at the running backs. Cook he's rushed for 1,118 yards, 17 touchdowns. Gibson, 1,580 and 22 touchdowns, and it's just that second effort every time. These guys don't give up.
Handoff, Dante Gibson again. And Gibson is to the 30. Short gain of about 2. Jake Walker from the nose tackle spot makes the stop for the Hornets.
Here's a fun fact for you, Scott. Junction City, their overall record this decade, 96-17.
Wow. Yeah. Doesn't get much better than that.
No.
6 state championships in school history. Here's Cook, and Cook on 3rd and short is barely going to make it back to the line of scrimmage. Jake Walker and Blaine Toll converge on him immediately, and now it's a decision time for Junction City and head coach Stephen Jones.
Well, we know they're not going to try to kick any field goals, and you're in that area that you're not going to punt it, so you might as well, and it's like the officials are going to call a timeout on the field. Ball moved a little bit, so, but I mean, you're going to go for it right here, and you got to draw up a play to try to get the first down. You got 5 yards to get to.
Coach Jones changing the play from the sidelines. They're going to go to the air. Hutchison connects with a wide open Haynes, and Haynes has the first down inside the 10 down to the 8-yard line. Cavante Haynes. Kay Perry with the stop.
He was wide open that time, Scott. I mean, the offense flowed to the left side of the field, and he just looks back. Watch right here. Quarterback looks back. Everything flows left, and then just wide open right side of the field. You've got Haynes sitting there, and he's easily able to pick up the first down.
We've got a flag down. Maybe they broke the huddle with too many guys.
Sideline warning, Junction City.
Oh, sideline warning. First down and goal for Junction City, trying to answer the score by Hazen. Handoff Gibson, and a flag down as Gibson is ridden out of bounds at the 5-yard line after a gain of 3 by Terrell Penn.
There's going to be holding on Junction City on the left tackle that time, I believe, and the flag was thrown right into the area as he was trying to make the turn, and we'll get the official call.
Holding. Offense. 10-yard penalty spot, the foul. First down.
That's exactly what it is. And now instead of 2nd and goal at the 5, Junction City is going to be back outside the 15.
At that time they called the penalty on Cody Atkins.
Gibson in the backfield behind Brady Hutchison on 1st and goal. Hutchison throws deep, connects with Haynes. Touchdown, Junction City. A 16-yard strike.
He's got a good arm as well. I mean, he threw a strike across the middle for the touchdown, and just like that, Junction City's back in the ball game with the touchdown.
Brady Hutchison to Cavante Haynes.
Well, the aerial attack is taking over here for 2 run-dominated offenses. A couple of touchdown passes to get us going in the 3rd quarter. And now the 2-point conversion. And these guys are going to go for 2, it's clear, every time they score. But Junction City Did not convert their last time. Gibson goes for it. He is stopped short of the goal line, but the second effort will get him in.
Just like that, Scott, it's a 2-point game, and when you look at the way that Junction City just keeps battling. Hazen, Coach Basankin's over there thinking, man, I got a good lead. Just made a big play, and the next thing you know, you look up at the scoreboard, and Junction City scored again, and have now drawn within 2.
Hazen scored first, led 8-0, then they led 8-6, led 16-6 late in the half. Junction City scored before halftime, and then both teams, how about this? Both teams scored on the opening possession of the first quarter and on the opening possession of the third quarter.
Yeah, and they're doing it in different ways. I mean, they're throwing the football now, and it's not like they're just dinking and dunking. They're throwing deep passes. And you said it the best, for two teams that dominate the football field by running the football. They're both throwing it quite well.
Jack Smith to kick off. He has pooch kicked it every time, and that's what he's going to do here. Fielded by an up back pin at the 35-yard line, and he goes nowhere. So here comes Blaine Toll and the Hazen offense. Here's a programming note. Tune in to AETN Wednesday night at 7 for Nature's Miracle Orphans. Wild lessons from a baby sloth to a young kangaroo. These animals are learning the ropes to survive on their own. That's Wednesday night at 7. Toll with the handoff to Green. Green around the right side. Finds a little room before he runs out of real estate. Steps out at the 40-yard line. Gilbert there to make sure he does. A 4-yard gain.
Well, you've got 3:46 left here in the quarter, Scott, and Hazen, they've been notorious for going with those long drives. 2 7-minute drives so far in the game. They did have the 1 2-minute drive, 2.5-minute drive. But they're in no big hurry to try to get this thing to the end zone.
The time of possession started to tighten up a little bit. 19 minutes for Hazen, just under 13 for Junction City. Here's Green again. And Green, Pin on the right side, is short of the first down. They're going to give him just shy of the 45. They're going to put it right on the 45-yard line. So 3rd down and 1. Cavante Haynes with the stop for the Dragons.
Well, you see the red on his jersey right there. I wonder where you get red at from the football. I guess down in the Arkansas in the end zones.
Well, and right there at the 52, you got the top of the AAA logo.
Didn't see that.
Jacob Weems is back on to take the snap, and the handoff goes right side to Green, and Green is going to have the first down.
And this is exactly what Hazen wants. You get the first down, start that clock. They want the thing to run and really have a methodical drive to wear down this Junction City defense.
15-play drive on a touchdown drive on the opening possession of the game. Weems with that full house backfield. And Toll is one of the backs in the backfield, we might add. Penn gets the give. He is stopped in the middle and then tries to find some room outside, but he's stopped for no gain. That's one of the things they're doing here is Blaine Toll, when they bring Jacob Weems in to take the snap, they're putting their big quarterback in the backfield with him.
Yeah, and when he's not getting the ball, he's serving as a lead blocker. I mean, he's a big guy. Hey, by the way, Scott, we haven't really mentioned it. Hazen's got these Michigan Wolverine helmets.
Yeah.
I wonder what that has to do with Hazen or the Hornets. We never did ask that question.
When you look good, you don't have to have a reason.
Yeah, no, I mean, they do look good.
Toll goes shotgun on 2nd and 10. But he keeps it on the ground with Green. And Green again stood up. Positive yardage, but not much.
Well, and see, this is where Hazen doesn't like to be in these type of situations. Usually on third down, they're wanting to have third down and 3, third down and 4, maybe third down and 5. But with this offense, you don't like being third down and 8 because now you've got to find a play that you can stretch it out wide and try to go and pick up those 8 yards and pick up that first down.
This was about the spot on the field, though, where Toll unloaded with a long touchdown pass. He's going to move the pocket, flip it out, complete. No, it's incomplete. Intended for Penn. He had it and dropped it.
That's a simple case right there, Scott. You're not looking the football in. You turn upfield and you're looking to see either who's going to hit you or where you're at on the field.
That's exactly what he was doing as you look at the replay. So now Junction City will get the football back with a chance to take the lead.
This is. You remember last time they went into punt formation, they went with the fake.
Weems does punt it. It is a short kick. Bounds at the 31, takes a nice Hazen bounce down to the 23-yard line.
Scott, I've never seen a punt go almost straight up, but then you get a great rollout, and it turns into almost a 30-yard punt.
28 unofficially, and Junction City, which has not led tonight, has the football with 1:07 in the third quarter, the 2A title game, with a chance to go on top.
I mean, the way the first half has gone, it's almost kind of shocking to say that now Junction's got a shot to take the lead in this one, but I mean, they've really stepped their defense up.
Handoff Cook. Cook hit in the backfield, but he gets past 2 would-be tacklers just over the 25-yard line. That's a pickup of 3. Such explosive speed from these running backs. I mean, the defense couldn't have played it much better. They had a guy in the backfield to make the stop, but Cook made him miss. 2nd down and 7. Hutchison to throw, left side, good coverage, incomplete. Intended for Jakiron Cook.
It's a great job by Rasheed Mills, the corner that time for Hazen, as he was playing him tight. I mean, it was tight man-to-man coverage, and you get up there and slap a hand around and don't allow for him to catch it.
3rd down and 7. Hutchison with a quick throw to his back out of the backfield, who's Haynes, and Haynes makes a man miss, gets down the sidelines, and steps out of bounds, not before he gets the first down, though. And Haynes, could he have stayed in bounds, would have given Junction City the lead. It's a gain of 14.
Boy, that time for Hazen, you had missed opportunities. Watch this right here. You just pitch it out wide. You got one block. No, can't make the tackle. Go with another tackle. Nope, can't make that one. And it's a great job being elusive by Junction City. But, boy, if you're Hazen, you look back on that and say, man, if you make that tackle, you force them to punt.
Handoff Gibson. Gibson has a hole. Gibson to midfield. Puts the ball in his right hand. He's inside the 20 and will be pushed out of bounds at the 12-yard line.
Well, speed that time. Watch this. He's able to come back, cuts it back upfield, and great job as a ball carrier. You rotate the ball into the other hand, make it away from the defender, and now it allows for you to use that stiff arm as they knock you out of bounds. Much less opportunity for them to force a fumble.
That's a 48-yard run by Dante Gibson. Does he need a breather? No way. He's got the football again. Inside or to the 10. Boy, that's a good open field tackle by Ajon Green for Hazen.
Scott, that may be the last play of the quarter.
Can be if Junction City wants it to be, and it certainly looks that way. They are knocking on the door, though. That will be the final play of a very exciting third quarter. Hazen and Junction City trade blows in the third quarter, but Junction City is in the red zone to start the fourth. You're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
For every moment, for every memory, from that first car to your first home to your first child, and all the highs and lows that tomorrow might bring. For everything that matters most to you and your family, there's someone right around the corner dedicated to helping you protect what you love. Your local Farm Bureau insurance agent. Farm Bureau Insurance. Real service, real people.
Junction City has now outgained Hazen 291 yards to 242 yards. That recently took place in that third quarter, and now they're trying to lead on the scoreboard as well as we begin the fourth with Cook in the backfield. He gets the handoff from Hutchison. He's inside the 10-yard line. Be a pickup of about 2.
Scott, you talked about those total yards, and I think the most impressive number, Junction City's got 97 yards passing. Hazen's got 58 yards passing.
So here's a big play, although you don't anticipate a field goal try if they don't get it. So they really got 2 probably opportunities to try to go 8 yards. Hutchison's going to throw, looking left all the way. Throws towards the corner, and it is overthrown. Jakyron Cook kind of stumbled out of his route there just a little bit, I thought. He wasn't where I think Hutchison wanted him to be.
Well, and he started backpedaling. Anytime you get turned around and you have to start backpedaling, that's not really a good situation to be in. And so, that's when you're in those throwing situations. You're not used to running routes, especially corner routes, and you have to look over the opposite shoulder. And so now you've got a 4th down situation, and you got to get 7 yards, 8 yards.
Well, Jack Smith is going to come on to attempt a field goal. So they will mark it at the 15-yard line. So this is a 25-yard field goal attempt to give Junction City their first lead of the game. It is good. And the Dragons lead for the first time in the 2A championship game.
Wow, Scott, that right there is a straight-on kicker that was able to knock it through and give Junction City a 1-point lead.
And according to the stats, that was his first field goal attempt of the year.
Yeah.
And he's true from 25 out. 23-22 Junction City backdoor Memorial after this. You're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN. 8 plays, 69 yards, 1 minute and 47 seconds, a 25-yard field goal from Jack Smith, and Junction City leads for the first time tonight. Another short kickoff, angling inside the 30. Here's McAdoo. He got a good return earlier. This time he's tripped up before he can get going upfield. And Hazen will start just at their 35-yard line, trailing for the first time in the game. 33 yards on the kickoff.
Well, now if you're Hazen, I mean, you don't have to change anything. You can keep doing what you're doing, running the football, having methodical drives. You've got 11 minutes left in this ball game, and you're down by 1. I mean, just stick to what you've been doing, and don't get in a panic right now just because you don't have the lead anymore.
Here's Blaine Toll. Toll hands off to Green, and Green is busted in the backfield. A great stop for Junction City.
That was Dante Gibson that time, Scott, that came in, just knifed in there and was able to get it and knock down the runner. And just went unblocked that time to go and get the tackle for loss.
Loss of 7 on the play. Nothing blows up a drive when you're a run-dominated team than a big negative play. Second down, 17. Toll will keep it himself. And he is brought down at the 29-yard line by Gibson. He picks up 2.
And you see Gibson, he's 6 foot tall, 182 pounds. And when you're going up against a guy that's 6'5", 230, you see right there he was able to he had to undercut him to bring him down when you're in one-on-one open space like that.
Considering donating to AETN, if you give just $5 a month, you'll earn access to AETN Passport and on-demand library of PBS and AETN programming. Learn more at aetn.org. Toll is stopped shy of the first down, and Hazen will have to decide if they're going to kick it away here. It'll be a 4th down and 8. And they will definitely do that, and Junction City is going to get the ball back with the 1-point lead.
How about the fact that Junction City, stepped their defense up a lot on that drive and really put the pressure on Hazen. Hazen stuck to what they were doing, but boy, Junction City really came with a lot of pressure that time.
That is a line drive punt fielded by Haynes, but that's good coverage. How in the world did he get down the field that fast on a line drive kick like that? I don't know.
I don't think I've ever seen that before. That was a spiral that was right to him, and got great coverage right there by Hazen. So now Junction City's got it with 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line, and you almost wonder if they can just have a methodical drive to where they run out some clock right here.
Handoff Gibson, who made some big stops on defense on that last possession. And look at the offensive line push him. They do blow the whistle a little bit before he went down shy of the 40-yard line. Let's go down and check in with Eric Sullivan.
I think Eric's having some mic issues. Yeah, we'll try to get back down to him in just a second.
Second down and 6. Hutchison to throw. Pump fakes. He's got a man wide open. It's Cook. Jakyron Cook breaks a tackle, changes direction, and Jakyron Cook is into the end zone for the touchdown. Touchdown Dragons, 62 yards.
Just a magic man. He knows where the defenders are. He makes the catch, ducks under one, cuts it back up into the field of play, and was able to take it in for a score. That's a playmaker right there. And watch this. Drop back pass, comes left side. He's got him one-on-one matchup. Whoop! He was able to go underneath him, cuts it back up right, and just goes in for the score. That's a great job being aware of where you are on the football field.
It's becoming a speed advantage for Junction City. It's on display now. 2 strikes with that speed in this second half. And Cook gets the handoff. He's brought down short of the 2-point conversion goal line. Let's go down to the sidelines and check in with Eric.
Earlier, electronics and rain sometimes don't mix very well, but we're going to do the best we can this 4th quarter. And how about 17 unanswered by Junction City? They are going completely wild here on the Dragons sideline. They have turned it up. We'll see if they can hold off. Hazen will have another run in them, but right now, all Junction City as we head deeper and deeper into the 4th quarter.
Well, thank you, Eric. So it is a 7-point game. Hazen's still in this. You do see him out there with a few heads hanging. It's been a big turnaround, but they're still in this game, and there's still a lot of time left. And even though R.J. Hazen's offense is not built to strike quickly, they've got a lot of time on the clock.
You got plenty of time. You've got 8 minutes and 22 seconds. And here's the thing, if you're Hazen, just calm down a little bit. You know the momentum has shifted. It's shifted at this point, so now just get back. Get into one of those long, methodical drives where you work it outside, work it inside, pick up 3, 4, 5 yards at a time, work it down the field, and try to get that touchdown.
Jack Smith will kick it away again for the Dragons. His field goal gave them their first lead, and now they lead 29-22. Fielded by McAdoo. McAdoo with a nice move. Gets it upfield for a short return. And Hazen will start at their own 43. Hey, learn more about the issues that impact the state with our long-running public affairs program, Arkansas Week. Fridays at 6:30 p.m. and Sundays at 10 a.m. right here on AETN.
So now if you're Coach Pasankin, I mean, you see him over there on the sideline. He's pacing, but just trying to get his guys to calm down a little bit and just run the offense. And the last 2 drives that Hazen's had, they've not been in tune like what they were when they started the ball game.
Handoff to Terrell Penn, and Penn again is met in the backfield. Jakyron Cook brings him down for Junction City. It's a loss of 4.
And you said it just a minute ago, Scott, about the speed of Junction City, and it's starting to show, but there's no blocking on the outside edge right now. I mean, and Coach Pasankin's going to call a timeout for Hazen, but I mean, there is no blocking on that outside edge, and when you've got a speedy team like Junction City, you're not going to just be able to outrun them. You're not going to be able to just beat them to the edge. You've got to throw some guys out there to lay some blocks to open somebody up.
Well, I think you may have to throw the football too, because that man that made that stop in the backfield, he's your strong safety for Junction City. They're crashing down on that run game right now.
And when they ever since the last couple drives for Hazen in the first half, Junction City started stacking the box. They realized, hey, look, they're gonna trap inside. They're gonna try to work it back outside. We're gonna stack the box and not allow them to do it. That's why Hazen was so successful earlier with the pass play, because they had everybody pulled in. They had that zero defense in where they pulled the safety in, and so now you've gotten the attention of Junction City. You said, okay, you can throw it a little bit, but until you start showing us that you can do it regularly, we're going to continue to stack the box.
Well, Toll looked good when he threw that touchdown pass. We'll see what Hazen draws up here on 2nd down and 14 after the timeout.
Right here, zero defense, no safety in the field for Junction City.
And we're going to get a flag and whistles before the snap of the football. Could be a false start.
Before the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
And that's the last thing you need, Scott, is penalties to start backing you up.
Yeah, that makes it a 2nd and 19 back at the 34-yard line. Toll loses the football. He will dive on it back at the 28.
I think that's now you're starting to see, Scott, where the rain's starting to become a factor. He tries to work it left, loses it in his hands. Not a player that wears gloves, and he goes with it one-handed. Ball gets knocked out. He's able to, unfortunately, get back on top of it. And now you've got an uphill battle. 3rd and 24 now.
Toll going deep down the far sidelines, and the catch is made by Quincy McAdoo inbounds at the 31-yard line.
I mean,
what a catch.
And what a throw.
Yeah.
The ball that Toll throws is a beautiful pass. Hey, you've got all the conditions with the weather. And I don't know if the TV can show you how much rain's going on, but it's raining really good right now. And Toll just drops back and throws a beautiful pass down the left-hand side and connects with his receiver. That's a great throw right there.
52 yards on the bomb. And McAdoo now with 2 catches for 99 yards.
It's got to be a season high for him, man, or a career high even.
We've got a timeout on the field. Let's go down to the sidelines and check in with Eric.
I think Eric's mic is still having some issues down there with the rain and technology.
We'll check in with Eric again in just a moment. Boy, talk about the bailout there. 3rd down and a mile, and your quarterback, who doesn't throw the football very often at all, goes deep again. All right, I think we've got Eric now. Eric?
Yeah, guys, you knew Hazen had to run in them. Can they get in the end zone? And dare I tell you guys, it's a 7-point ball game. Are we smelling overtime in this cold, rainy night in the state championship?
That's a true football fan right there. He's down there in the rain, the 37 degrees, and he's calling for some free football.
He's got like his Russian headgear going on. I noticed he changed that up in the second half.
Well, Hazen would love nothing more than to get this thing tied up. And the handoff to Ajon Green, testing the middle again. And Junction City has certainly slowed down that running game. That's a pickup of only a yard. Kyle Kidwell makes the stop for the Dragons. But it has been the passing game that has been there in the second half for Hazen that has kept them in the game.
But I mean, and they throw it really well. I'm still kind of shocked why they hadn't done this all year. I guess they just hadn't needed to.
Toll has got a great arm. Drops it again, picks it up twice, and he's going to be buried. Snowed under. Back at the 34-yard line. That is going to be a loss of 3. First man to him, Adonis Jones.
He's used that towel that's on the backside of him. Wipe those hands off a little bit so he can hold on to the football.
Well, when you're 6'5" and the snap's a little low, you got to go down there and get it.
I understand. It's just, well, you hate plays like that. Negative yardage plays when you got a chance to threaten right here with 5:53 to play.
3rd and 13. Again, slips through his hands, and Green is going to be wrestled down in the backfield. Ball comes loose again. Green falls on it. Kyle Kidwell is there in the backfield again for Junction City. It's a loss of 9.
And Scott, right here, look, I understand the snap's a little low, but it hits you in the hands. It should be able to catch that right there, but I really honestly think that it's not so much that Toll can't catch it. I mean, he's a heck of an athlete. I think the wet conditions are what is making it tough on him.
Hey, the offense is going to be on the field here. 1 timeout, 5:10 to play. It's 4th and 22. Hazen's not going to kick it. Toll is buried after he held on a little too long. Samaje Livingston with the sack, and Junction City takes over with 5:02 to go.
I mean, he held on just a little too long, but boy, he didn't really have much time. He stepped up into the pocket, and the minute he stepped up into the pocket to avoid any type of pressure, he went down.
Negative 21 yards rushing on that drive.
RJ and Scott, I want to mention it's not raining near as heavy as it was in the first half. It's coming down, but it's not near as bad as it was.
But I think still, though, Eric, wouldn't you agree that with the conditions the way that they've been the entire game, everything's wet at this point?
Junction City with a chance to put it away. Dante Gibson, and Gibson dragging tacklers for the first down to the Hazen 40. And he never really went down. The forward progress finally stopped. He gained 16.
The momentum shift, Scott, we talked about it before the half. The momentum shift after that big pass play by Junction City has kind of been the game changer in this one. They got all the momentum going into half. They've kind of held on to that throughout this game so far.
Well, you got to wonder if Hazen's a little tired, too. We talked about the Ironman football. 8 out of 11 of their starters play both ways, at least for several snaps during the game. No depth on that roster. 30 men on the team. Gibson on the right side again, churning those legs, gets inside the 35-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 yards as the clock closes in on 4 minutes. Jackson Shellman with a stop for the Hornets. Well, at this point, the Hornets need a stop or they need a turnover.
Yeah, and right now Junction City's just taking their time. Right, got 13 on the play clock, under 4 to play now here in the game, and they're not in any big hurry whatsoever.
Keep it on the ground with Dante Gibson again. Gibson this time met shy of the sticks as Hazen turned him back. Cade Perry, one of the first guys there.
Here's a big thing, though, Scott. You can't allow for Junction City to get a first down right here. I mean, the way that they're just milking this clock down, you can't let them get a first down right here. Junction City 4 of 10 on third down tonight.
Play clock at 10. Junction City milking it. It's down to 5. Ooh, high snap. Short of the first down.
Boy, Scott, that snap was scary, wasn't it? It goes wide right, and he has to kind of catch it with one hand. And, I mean, just think, if you lose that, that's a big turning point in the game.
What do you do now for Junction City?
Well, you got to keep it on. I mean, you got to go for it and try to get this first down. And because if you get the first down, you almost essentially can ice the game. Now, granted, Hazen's only got one timeout. You get the first down, ball game's pretty much over.
Yep. Only one timeout for the Hornets.
Look at them stacking the box right here.
It'll be Hutchison, and they will get the first down. Hey, we hope you've enjoyed the football state finals this year. A reminder that AETN will be broadcasting the basketball state finals in March. Stay on top of all the action at aetn.org/sports. But we've got a lot of football left even after this one. A doubleheader for you tomorrow. The 3A championship game, Boonville and Osceola, and the nightcap under the lights here at War Memorial tomorrow night, Arkadelphia and Robinson in the 4A title game. Gibson hit immediately and dropped, and we'll see Hazen maybe call a timeout here.
I think that they may wait till third down to try to call that timeout, so might be able to get a stop.
25-second play clock just started, so it will be down close to a minute 15 if Junction City wishes, but they're right up on the line of scrimmage here. Boy, you'd think we're going to take a little more clock time now.
I think Coach Jones yelled out, hey, well, hold up just a little bit.
Now the play clock down to 6 when they finally snap it, and room for Gibson. Gibson turns, and Gibson will score. Touchdown, Junction City, and that will ice it for the Dragons.
I mean, big hole right side, and Gibson's done what he's done all game. Just walked into the end zone for a touchdown. Cut it back, and was able to take it in for the score.
30-yard touchdown run for Dante Gibson.
I mean, he didn't even hit the hole with full speed. He was just kind of tippy-toeing and was able to cut it back inside once he found the hole.
I'll tell you, he made a huge impact, obviously, from his running back position tonight, but how about the stops he made in the defensive backfield as well? Here's Jack Smith. They'll try the conventional point after, and it's good. He's actually perfect this year. 9 for 9 now on point after tries, and Junction City can begin the celebration.
And you hate it for, you hate it for a Hazen team that really, I think all it comes down to is bodies. You've got 60 guys sitting on the Junction City sideline. You got 30 over there on Hazen's sideline, and they just got tired in a game. Like when you face a team like Junction City that's got so much speed, and it's not so much they've got the size, just the speed factor.
7 plays, 56 yards, 3 minutes and 49 seconds. And the Dragons headed towards a 7th state championship. You know, Coach Stephen Jones told you in his interview for the pregame show, RJ, that after they won that semifinal game, there was not a celebration in the locker room.
Yeah.
It was all business. The goal from the get-go for the Dragons was to win the state championship game. And they are well on their way. McAdoo will try to make something happen in miracle fashion for the Hornets, though. Turns the corner, still on his feet, and the ball comes loose again. It will belong to Hazen.
Well, Scott, I mean, with 1:04 left in it, it's a tall order for Hazen to try to get back in this one. And I mean, you look at this matchup between Junction City and Hazen. And Junction City, they're still undefeated. They're now 3-0 against Hazen in games played.
So Hazen is going to have to score quickly. Something their offense is really not built to do, but Toll has thrown some nice balls tonight. Let's see if he can get them in the end zone. Over the middle, incomplete. Intended for Rasheed Mills. Let's go down and check in with Eric Sullivan. Eric.
Yeah, RJ and Scott, just think about Junction City. They were down 22-12 in this ball game and never really got concerned about it. They stuck to their game plan. They got a few things going, and then momentum is so big in a game of this magnitude, and I think they've handled it brilliantly. And RJ, I think you're dead on. Hazen is just out of gas.
24 in a row put up by the Junction City Dragons to potentially close this thing out. Toll still trying to have something to say about it. This one's over the head of his intended receiver and intercepted. Intercepted by Gibson. Why not? The star running back for Junction City puts the nail in the coffin.
Yeah, I mean, he just sat back there in center field, and I mean, if you're Toll, you just threw it off balance and just overshot his intended target and right into the hands of a Junction City player, and he'll be able to go down and celebrate right here after the kneel down.
So Dante Gibson with 153 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns, and add an interception to his night. And the victory formation for Junction City. Hazen can stop the clock once more if they choose to. It does not look like they're going to.
Immediately following the conclusion of this game, the seconds away will have the presentation of awards.
We'll have the presentation of the awards in the postgame show.
Guys, I don't know if Coach wants a Gatorade bath tonight.
It may be a frozen Gatorade coming out of that pail, but we'll see if it happens. We're always watching for the Gatorade bath. Don't think he's going to get it. That'll be the final play. And Junction City, as Eric mentioned just moments ago, came from 10 down to take the trophy. 24 in a row rattled off in the second half. And the Dragons are state champions for the 7th time in school history.
Well, I mean, you think about how Junction City did it. I mean, they were down the entire first half, and they just kept clawing. They kept fighting. They, stuck to the game plan, mixed in some pass, and really just wore down Hazen. And when you look at time of possession in this one, Hazen still led in that category, 27:59 to 20 minutes. But at the end of the day, I just think the speed factor caught up to the Hazen Hornets and really kind of did them in this one.
So as we mentioned, still to come, some post-game interviews, the trophy presentation, lots to do in the post-game show. Game 1 of 3 in the second round of state championship weekend is in the books. The Class 2A state championship. Junction City defeats the Hazen Hornets 36-22.
And I think Eric's going to be down the field here and looking for a head coach. Eric, I'm going to come down to you. I know you can probably hear us right now.
Yeah, we're waiting on getting the handshakes right now.
And what's the atmosphere like?
Oh, I mean, Junction City is just elated, as you can imagine. And if actually we got Coach with us already, let's find us a camera, and we'll be good to go. Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Doing great, man.
You don't mind running?
Hey, take your time. We can be here all day.
You don't mind walking with me just a little bit here?
Yeah, we got you, Eric.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Coach. You were down 10 points in this ball game. What happened in that third quarter to really get this your team going?
Our guys just kept fighting, kept battling, and all throughout the year, they've shown a lot of resiliency. And I knew coming out at half, you could just see the look in the kids' face, so we were going to go win this thing.
Hazen, I think you did wear him down, but they fought hard, didn't they?
They did. What an awesome year for Hazen. Hats off to them. Great football team, great run, and man, they just did a great job. Gave us a great fight tonight.
You're a pretty young guy, but what's up with Junction City? Y'all always seem to win the state championship game.
Hey, Coach Carpenter built a great program here, and I was able to just kind of step in and throw a wrinkle or two in, and here we are back in the Rock, and just winning it all, man. It's awesome.
Coach, go celebrate with your team. Congrats.
Thank you.
All right, Scott and RJ, we'll talk to the MVP here in a moment.
All right, thank you, sir. You know, if you think about what were the two things that really made the difference tonight, RJ, you talked about the depth issue and the speed really started to show, and they may have gone hand in hand, quite frankly.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. And this was a very talented Junction. I mean, both teams are talented, but when you look at it for Junction City, the speed and the number of players on their team, just, you know, it's easier whenever you can sub somebody in to give two guys breathers, and where, you know, you got guys playing both ways over on Hazen's football team. Not making excuses, just saying that played a big part in this one.
Dante Gibson, no big surprise that Dante Gibson is the MVP.
Very hurt right now, but you got to love what they did this year, and as you guys said, they did it with a 29 player, and congrats to them. But it's tough right now for these guys.
Dante Gibson, no big surprise there. He is the MVP. Gibson with 21 carries, 153 yards, 2 touchdowns. And not to forget, he had a great night defensively, ended the game, iced it with an interception of Hazen quarterback Blaine Toll. He made some great tackles for loss early in that fourth quarter that really stopped the Hazen running game. Well, as we wait for all of the presentations, we can also tell you the Burlsworth trophies being handed out as well. From Hazen High School, Jackson Shellman getting that, and from Junction City High School, Cody Atkins. As they take pictures and we get a little bit closer to some post-game interviews, Matt, can we take a break? I'm not sure. Well, let's take a break. We're going to take a break and be back to War Memorial in just a moment. You're watching the 2018 Centennial Bank High School State Finals on AETN Sports.
Broadcast of this championship game is made possible by
Law Offices of Gary Green, a people's practice, representing people with serious injuries in areas of personal injury, nursing home negligence, and product liability. We are proud to be underwriters of AETN.
You'll find us at the end of a lot of long country roads, covering over 60% of the great state of Arkansas to provide reliable power to over 500,000 homes, farms, and businesses. The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, your local energy partners.
Make the presentation.
In front of 3,118, braving the cold, rainy temperatures, or the cold, rainy conditions, I should say, at War Memorial Stadium tonight. Junction City defeats Hazen for the 2A state championship game, and the Dragons being awarded that championship trophy and hoisting it high. We were talking about the attendance earlier today as well with that 31-16. That brings the total through 4 games to 45,712. I might tell you that the attendance record
How you doing?
For the 6 classifications, 52,686. That's a difference now of 69.74. So if you're sitting at home watching tonight, I know the weather's supposed to be lousy again tomorrow, but we only need 7,000 people to set a new record at 2 games tomorrow. I bet that can happen.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. And I think they are naming the MVP, but I think Eric's got a little special guest right now.
Not the MVP of this game, but maybe in the future for Junction City. Who's your dad?
Dad?
Yeah. He's the head coach, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Say go Junction City.
Go Junction City.
I think he'll be MVP one day, guys.
I love it. Who's your dad? Well, he's Dad.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. That's good stuff.
I got lost in Walmart when I was a kid. They brought me to the front desk and go, what's your mommy's name? And I said, Mommy.
Yeah, of course.
That's all you know.
There is the MVP, Dante Gibson. What a night for that young man. Gibson coming in with 1,580 yards on the season, and he adds 153 tonight.
And it looks like Eric is going to get with him. Well, it was.
A lot of people want your picture when you're the most valuable player of the state championship.
It only happens once, Scott. You go take all the pictures you can, kid. What a game that young man played. Scott, you mentioned what he did on the defensive side of the ball tonight was very impressive.
Looks like Eric is now with our MVP.
Congratulations, my man. You are the MVP, Junction City State champs. How did y'all do it? Y'all were down by 10 in this game.
We just kept fighting. We've been in these situations all our lives. We knew that we had to keep fighting. Had to finish this year. Last year, I don't think we came here to finish last year. This year we had that drive in us, and we just kept believing in each other. We never got down when we was down by 12 at one point. We just kept on fighting and kept on fighting. That's the most important thing about this team this year is they don't know how to quit. We didn't know how to quit, and we didn't, and we came out on top.
You guys had a little bit of everybody add something to this game. You're the MVP, but I think this is something you're going to share with your teammates.
Oh, yeah, yes, sir, for sure. I owe it all to my offensive line. If it wasn't for them, none of this would have been possible. First off, I'd like to thank God for it. If it wasn't because of him, none of us would be here right now. I'd like to thank God for it and my offensive line. They're such great. They didn't give up at all. They kept blocking. I trusted them all throughout this year, and they told me in this game to just keep believing in them.
Junction boy, guys aren't afraid of some cold weather.
No, sir. We've been in the cold weather too many times. We've been in it too many times.
Congratulations on the MVP, and go celebrate with your team.
All right, thank you.
All right, there he is, Scott and RJ, your most valuable player, and a well-mannered young man right there going to go celebrate with his teammates.
Hey, thank you, Eric. And let me point out, too, Dante has a higher than 3 GPA and plans to go into pre-med. He was one of our outstanding student athletes that we honored at halftime. So congratulations to Dante Gibson. Taking a look at some of the final numbers. Junction City ends up with 415 total yards to Hazen's 262. Look at the passing yards. They end up with 160 through the air, 255 on the ground. First downs 15-12 in favor of Junction City. The third down conversions, Hazen still more efficient in that category. 3 out of 3 in the red zone. Junction City was. Hazen was 1 out of 1. And the time of possession, which was heavily in Hazen's favor, ends up getting a little bit more balanced towards the end. 36-22, the final score here in the 2A championship game as folks start to file out, but we've still got 2 more. And I know Bobby Swafford's going to come in and do the color in the booth, but we've seen some entertaining football over the last couple of weekends.
I mean, can it get any better? You think about it, tomorrow, the 3A game at noon is going to be a track meet. You've got Boonville and Osceola, 2 teams that we thought the 5A game was going to be a track meet. Between those 2 teams, they can run it really. They can run long, they can run fast, and they can score a lot of points between those 2. But then the 4A game, you've got the defending champs in Arkadelphia taking on Robinson in what is a rematch in class for the 7-4A, and so that'll be the 6:30 game tomorrow night. So a lot of good football still ahead right here on AATN Sports, and I know the weather's going to be bad. We all know the weather's going to be bad, but it's going to be fun to watch all this great football.
Yeah, we certainly hope we can break that attendance record. We thank you for watching. Do want to thank everybody involved in the crew for AET and Sports, including Matt Johnson in the truck. McLean Leach, who did the stats for me tonight, he didn't big league us. He won a state championship for Little Rock Christian last week, but he was still in the booth with us here tonight. Also, our thanks to Todd Mercer, who did the spotting. RJ, great job by you. Thanks to Eric down on the sidelines. I'm Scott Inman saying so long and good night from War Memorial Stadium. Join us again tomorrow, 11:30 the pregame, 12 o'clock the kickoff between Boonville and Osceola in the 3A championship game. Until then, so long.
This month in Passport, your on-demand library of the best of PBS.
I'm to be Sir Percival's wife. She knows something about Sir Percival.